What did you guys do today?
Work.
School.
Studied for my test all day. Then wrote my
Exhilarating.
test.
Exhilarating
Exciting
stuff.
Yeah, living the dream over here.
I'm a little nasally today,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not happy about that because it's going to make this a terrible listening experience. Well, more so than usual, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, you usually say that you are already nasal.
Yeah, I'm already pretty nasally, so when that gets cranked up, it's not good. I have a feeling that a lot of the editing on this one is just going to be me cutting out the odd sniffle or, dry hacking cough.
I think I've asked this question before, but out of the four of us, like, how do we rank highest pitch voice to lowest?
I remember how Bella ranked it.
How did she rank it?
Matty being the lowest pitch.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what? She ranked me being lowest pitch.
No, she ranked Matty.
Because remember,
lowest.
Matty was trying to purposely talk in a really deep voice on that night we went out for Halloween.
Matty would not agree with that.
That was true at all.
Can you, Matty, say something?
Hello, it's me.
Malcolm?
Hello.
Patrick?
Hi.
So Malcolm was the lowest out of the three of you guys.
Damn.
And then Patrick, say something?
Hello.
Matty?
Hello.
I don't know. That was really close.
I don't think any of us are particularly that bassy.
I feel like I'm more high pitched when I speak like normally in the podcast.
Yeah, you're pretty high pitched.
Like-
yeah, you went, hello.
We're all pretty.
Hello.
We're all pretty like trebly.
But I feel like we're all like middle of the pack kind of thing. Like it's pretty average.
Middle to high. Not like I don't think any of us really dip into that like lower register.
Yeah. Like there's this guy at school. He's like one of those gym bros. He's huge and he's also foreign, so like he has an accent too. But like whenever he talks, he's like, "Hey buddy, how's it going?" And it's like, you know what I mean? He's one of those. It's crazy.
There's
feel
a
like-
tone.
There's a tone, yeah.
I don't know why when I meet someone like that, I'm like, this person hits women.
Oh my
goodness.
god.
He seems like a really respectful
Holy
guy. Oh my
shit.
god.
That poor foreign guy.
Cut that out.
Maybe we'll leave it in. Just
Imagine like
I just imagine him
we
wearing
release
like
this episode and he's listening to it, and while he's listening to it, he's
yeah.
Oh my
Oh
god.
He takes his anger out. He's like, God damn it, he's right.
Oh my god.
I just imagine him wearing like a
girls
white.
beside him.
I just imagine like those kind of guys with like a lot of some facial hair, and they're wearing a wife beater, and there's a beer stain on it.
Well, he's from Georgia. Where's Georgia?
Georgia.
That's Europe.
Is it?
What?
No, Georgia is like I'm pretty sure it's Europe.
I think it's border Europe,
Because
Asia.
I know Marab is from there. Marab Devalishvili,
Yeah.
the UFC fighter, and he's Georgian.
Yeah.
But it's like
I
they
thought
kind
it
of look
was
like half European, half Arabic. I think.
Yeah, I think it's like in and around where Armenia is then too.
Something like that. I don't even, is Armenia technically the Middle East or Europe?
It's like I think it's border there. Like Middle East is in like Middle East Asia, like the Asian
Sure. I think
continent.
I think Georgia probably falls within that
Georgia is
within
in
that area.
Eurasia.
Eurasia. There you go. Europe, Asia.
Okay.
Look on the border there.
It's on the border,
Yeah.
baby.
That's cool. Yeah, that's where he's from.
Death to America.
I was gonna say because when you say like the wife beater stuff, and no offense to people who are from this part of the world,
Sure.
but
Oh, what do you think?
well, because combined with me saying he's foreign, like I was thinking like Eastern European, more so
Like
those-
Vladimir
like Vladimir Putin.
Put. I mean, I wasn't referring to him in specific. I was just thinking of
Oh
like a
wow.
Russian name.
Okay, yeah, that's the first Russian name that came to my
Yeah.
mind.
I'm wearing shoes still. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
You're in your own home.
It's uncomfortable.
Is that you saying that like I shouldn't be wearing them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just came straight from the house and outside. We were outside, and then I came straight in, and I just walked downstairs.
Maddie, what are you searching up there?
I was just trying to find information about Georgia and where it is, and
Eurasia. He said it.
oh,
He said it like
Yeah.
3 minutes ago.
We talked about it. We moved past it, and you're doing that.
Did you find the answer at least?
and kind of, I guess. I don't know. It said
Oh
it
my
bordered on like Western Asia and like
Yeah.
part of Europe, and I was just like,
Yep.
that wasn't a satisfying answer.
Eurasia.
Sounds like Eurasia to me.
This fucking sucks, dude. This is terrible.
I know.
No one wants to hear about
What a
Georgia.
shit.
I know.
What a shit open. This is
We
terrible.
We
Fuck,
love all our
bro.
Georgian fans. We love all of you.
Fuck this.
Yeah.
Welcome back to episode 4 of Wildly Adequate, the show about anything, everything, and usually nothing. I am 1/4 of your hosting crew, Matthew Urso, and I am joined by
What's
Everybody, work with me on this.
Oh my god.
This is a workshopping session.
Okay.
The footballin', enthrallin', shot callin', Patrick Fahim.
Hello, everybody.
Do you like your intro?
I liked it. Yeah, I think I liked
Let's
it.
hear the rest of them.
The illustrious one,
The illustrious one.
Mark Mashricky.
Oh, damn.
I
thought
love
I
it.
was also the illustrious one.
You're not, and I love that I am.
And the pure sex appeal,
Oh no.
Swaza.
Yeah.
Can I ask? I know that illustrious is a good thing, but what does it actually mean?
Like somebody who's kind of held in high esteem or distinguished, that kind of thing. Picture
Oh,
somebody
wow.
like Sir Patrick Stewart or Sir Ian McKellen.
Oh, very good.
Oh.
What do you guys think of those intros?
Can
that
you
I
say mine
thought
again
about?
one more time?
The footballin', enthrallin', shot callin', Patrick Fahim.
Okay. I'm okay with it.
I like that.
I like mine as well.
The only other thing I had, and this one I didn't tie specifically to any of you, but I was like, oh, this is another stupid one. The King of Kings, insert name.
Yeah, like that would be for the Pharaoh, right? So
Nah.
I guess technically that's Jesus.
technically you're right. That is Jesus.
Have you guys seen that meme of Shia LaBeouf? I showed it to Malcolm earlier, and we can cut this out if we don't want it in. But he's at a grocery store, and it says, when your total is $6.66, and it's him going, "Say Christ is Lord! Say Christ is Lord!" It's so good. Anyway,
When does he ever say that?
Oh my
it's in a movie. There's a movie called what's the one that Scorsese directed? No. I was thinking of Silence. I don't think it's Silence, but it's a similar theme of like these monks and stuff. And he's like this like
And
Christian.
he's a monk?
He's like a Christian.
Satan's Alley?
Satan's Alley. He's like a Christian monk guy, and he's like, I don't know what the context is, but he's yelling at someone saying like, "Say Christ is Lord."
He's a Christian monk guy.
Yeah.
Christian monk guy.
Satan's Alley.
There we go. Now see what I'm doing. All right. So, anyways, we're here. We're back. We've got things to discuss. I hope everybody's got something to discuss. Looking
I have
at you,
nothing
Patrick.
to discuss. Why
Yeah,
why
that's
looking
what
at
I
me?
Because you had a scared, worried look in your face. Anyways, we'll get to you eventually. Mr. Malcolm, I believe you are taking us, starting us off today. I don't know where I was going with that.
Taking us.
Begin.
I imagine you say taking us down memory lane for some reason.
Memories Lane.
Please begin and save
Memories
me.
Crescent.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, just came on that topic a couple of minutes ago, but
Oh,
I don't like that. I mean, honestly, me
well,
and
it's
Patrick
because
did too.
it's because I was.
that's not true.
I was
A
thinking
couple
about,
minutes ago.
No, maybe like an hour ago.
I was thinking about it all day. I just didn't know what to talk about, but
Okay.
Cool.
I decided I want to talk about paranormal. I want to talk about the paranormal. And-
Like the movie?
No. Like just in general, like the supernatural,
Okay,
paranormal. And the
Oh, I
reason I want
see.
to talk about this is because when I was a kid, I used to have these nightmares, or I don't know what to call it, but all I know is in the middle of the night, I'd get out of bed and I'd wake up and I'd be behind the curtains in my room and there'd be a hooded figure just holding me and holding my mouth, and I'm screaming going,
Oh my
I'm like
God.
trying to get my mom to just come and see what's happening, and I couldn't do anything, and I still don't know if it was real or not, but it felt real because I know it happened.
That's definitely no. What you just said? It felt real, so I know it happened. Do you know what dreams are?
Yep.
So then, how could you possibly say that sentence?
Because it
Did you
I
feel
know what a-
pressure on
And
your
it
know
life?
a dream-
exclusively
I know-
happened
I
at
know what
night
a- I
when
know
you
what
were
a dream-
dreaming.
I know what a dream feels like, but this happened on multiple occasions.
Dreams can happen on dreams.
But the
can only
exact
happen once.
the exact same thing. But it was the exact same thing.
Yeah, I had recurring nightmares when I was a kid too.
All right.
Are you telling? Okay, I need to preface what I'm about to say with I am not a believer in the paranormal.
Neither am
So
I.
this sentence is going to be a surprise coming from me. But do you truly believe when you were a kid a hood figure came to your house multiple nights and held you up, and you were just fine? You were just okay.
Well, I'm not saying he visited, like came through the front door.
Just shit waltzed up.
Why is that what you're thinking about right now? I'm saying, do you believe in that? Like
I think
that
when you-
actually happened to you, and you came out of it unscathed
I think
for
what
whatever
he,
reason.
I think what he's saying is that they weren't formal visits, but that he'd come spook him every once in a while.
Yeah.
Are you trying to make a joke then?
He'd float in
Or
through
are you going to entertain what I'm saying?
he'd go in, like he'd fly in through the wall.
Yeah.
He's not like knocking on the door like a salesperson. Like he's like going through the wall, and then he's like playing around with him, fucking around with him, and then leaving. And
Why
then-
does the way he entered the room matter? I don't understand.
It doesn't. I'm playing along.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter.
It's interesting to me, Patrick, that
Yeah.
you're not one for like ghosts and ghouls.
Can we say wow on 3? 3, 2, 1. He's religious.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I
because
don't know.
you're somebody who skews a little bit more religious, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like
I mean, but do you even agree with that assessment that you are religious?
I'm in a gray area of my life right now.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. Let's crack
No
that
title,
open.
please.
So why are you fasting?
Um,
The fear
I'm-
of God.
I'm being
Anyways.
forced to.
Wow. Okay, well then we don't necessarily have to go down that lane. Personally speaking, I don't believe in
Can
a
I
lot
cut
of
you off there for a
paranormal
second?
shit.
We can still
Please,
go
of
down that
course.
lane.
Okay.
Even when I was more leaning towards that direction, I still didn't believe in ghosts and stuff. So we can go down that lane.
I guess, but well, it's just to me, it's like if you're somebody who is slightly more religious, doesn't ghosts seem slightly more in?
I would agree.
question?
I would probably think so, just because of like, I mean, it depends. I think Patrick, I'm gonna assume what you were gonna say,
Yeah.
but I think it depends on whether you believe in a lot of the biblical stories, like literally, or if you believe in like the message of them and what they're trying to say. Because obviously, if you believe in everything in the Bible literally, there are spirits and there are demons and weird shit like that going on. So if you
That's
do,
right.
if you
That's
do
what
believe
I'm
in that,
saying.
yeah, if you do believe in that literally, then you have to entertain at least the idea of that being real.
That's what I'm saying. Because like if
Yeah.
I saw a ghost in front of me, like in front of my own eyes, I'm an atheist, but even I would start being like,
El Diablo.
shit, I might be wrong about this whole like God thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
there might be more to this than I had
Yeah.
I think
previously
it would be
thought.
I think it would be foolish of you to like see that and be like, well, anyway, nothing's real.
I guess-
nothing exists. Like
I guess
that.
specifically, what is consistent with being religious, at least in my view, and not believing in ghosts is like like people, like the spirits of people, because in the
Okay.
Christian faith, you either go to heaven or hell.
Right.
Like there's no lingering on earth.
What about them limbo people?
There's no limbo in our, I guess, branch of Christianity.
I think there are some denominations that believe in purgatory. Yeah.
Yeah, but not for Orthodox.
No.
But that's the whole thing. But anyways,
Yeah.
ghosts and stuff. Good song.
Ghostbusters is a fantastic movie.
Ghostbusters fantastic. I don't like. I'm not one for ghosts and the paranormal stuff in terms of like believing it. I think as like a concept and an idea, it's a lot of fun
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Huh.
like interesting to think about.
Sure.
Like I would never sit here and be like, yeah, I believe in ghosts. But at the same time, it's like I'm interested in the idea and like when people are convinced, apparently like Malcolm, that they've like seen shit or like felt a presence.
Can
or,
we
like,
go
all
back to that
stuff.
then? Like,
Please.
because I just want to know on the record what are you trying to say about that story?
Do you believe
you
that?
believe that a hooded figure came to your night multiple nights in a row, or however in whatever stretch of time, and held you captive,
like a real
I guess.
ghost.
I believe
And there's no judgment zone. You know that I don't
Yeah,
believe
I
it,
think
but if you believe it, then
I think
whatever.
it's a little bit too late for that. You hardcore judged him
No, I'm-
earlier, but
No, okay. I did say something judgmentally, but if you believe it, then it is what
I
it is.
believe that something like supernatural happened, whether it was in my dream or in real life. I believe that. I feel like
How can something
I feel like it-
supernaturally happen in your dream?
why can't it?
no, like he's saying, like, are you saying that the dream had a supernatural element to it, or you're saying like a supernatural outside source like found its way into your dream and it's a pure real source?
I would say something like that.
If it's something supernatural happening in your dream, then that's called a dream.
No, but that's why I was asking. He's saying that it's not just like a part of the dream. He's saying it's like
It's
something
from the outside world.
something from the outside world is like getting into his mind.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. So can you elaborate more on that?
How would you like me to elaborate more?
I feel like he
Like,
hasn't
what-
thought
what
much
is
more
it?
about it than that.
You haven't thought much more about it than that?
Just
Like,
that
do you
it
think
was-
like it was a demon? It was like what was it?
I
Exactly?
haven't thought much more about it.
Mm.
Oh,
I haven't.
okay. Wow.
Honestly, I would.
I feel like if that's something that's been plaguing you for a long time, that you would have
Well,
thought a
He's
little
so
bit.
scared that he doesn't want to think about
that's what I was about to
that-
say. To play devil's advocate, pun intended.
Yeah.
Am I right?
it. You right.
To play devil's advocate, I was just gonna say that if it was so terrifying and traumatizing, I probably wouldn't want to think much about it either.
But he's bringing it up so casually right now.
It's been many years, I'm assuming. So
It's been many years.
Many years.
Many.
Yeah, I used to have this. I used to have this one nightmare where I wake up and I'm in my room, and
that's terrifying.
my dad is approaching me, and he's all stiff, and he's
Oh
like
my God.
waddling
Oh my
towards
God.
me, and he's like,
Jesus.
yeah, and he's like straight faced, and I'm like screaming, and then
Oh my god.
and then I blink, and it's a cat, but the
Oh,
same
wow.
pose,
Oh.
but it's a cat.
That's
my
very.
God.
Can I
That
talk-
scared me.
You had
Can
some,
I-
you had some
Dude.
like fucked up hereditary dreams.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of like his hand like freezing and like twisting and
Yeah,
like.
what the hell?
But honestly, on that kind of theme, I used to have a recurring dream or nightmare, I'd say, where there would be like, I would be running up the stairs from the basement. Like the whole dream starts in the basement,
Oh my freaking!
And there's like,
is this one you've told us before?
Yes.
Because there's a dream you've told us before that I can't get out of my head to this day.
okay,
It scares the shit out of me.
Remind me what it is after I'm done telling this one.
Okay, yeah.
But this one, I start in the basement, and for some reason, the basement is like, when there's like small rooms in real life, but in your dream, they're like fucking like factory size,
Yeah.
factory size, are huge. So I start in my basement, and it's gigantic, and I'm like working my way through what feels like puzzles of like little areas that have like a mini boss or like some scary thing or creature or person like guarding it, and I'm trying to like escape the person. And eventually, when I get to the stairs, I run up the stairs, and without fail, every time something grabs my ankle and like grips it, and then I can't move, and I like kick it, and I run upstairs. And then sometimes I do reach it to my living room, to like the dining room area, and then I just like I close the door behind me, the basement door, and I turn around, and like I just feel spirits like I feel something like heading towards my way very quickly, and I start freaking out, and I wake myself up, and I've never gotten past that point. But Patrick, I'm curious to hear which one what terrified you about what I said like another time.
Like this was a different dream, but you were telling us while we were in this basement, and you were telling us that you would have nightmares being in your
You're
basement.
talking about the hooded figure.
The hooded figure with the white face,
Yeah.
and pointy like chin, cheeks, and like nose,
Yeah.
just like staring at you from that window, bro. You said it was that window.
Yeah.
Oh, I do
remember
Mark
that?
talking about this when we were younger.
And honestly,
yes.
at some point, I think I found the source of what was causing those weird dreams. I think it was Looney Tunes. To be honest, I think it was like I think there was like a Looney Tunes episode where there was like a witch with a very pale face, and she had like a moon-shaped face, like very pointy on the top and on her chin. I think that might have been that combined with another creepy figure that I saw, and like I kind of made like this weird compilation of figures.
Yeah.
But I was looking at it online, and I was like, I think this is what fucked me up, because I used to watch Looney Tunes a lot as a kid, and that lady with the black robe, like this death-looking person, just terrified me.
Yeah. See, I never had a dream about your dream, but like
Remember what
while lucid.
Remember
it
when
just fucks me up.
Remember when I told you about? I've told all of you guys this. I used to have nightmares, and they were nightmares. You can laugh at them, but of someone tickling me. Like I used to be like I would be in my bed, and then that weird pointy white face man comes over.
Oh God, Mark.
And sometimes he has like red polka dots on his cheeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he'll approach me real slow.
That's terrifying.
And I'm sitting on my bed. I'm sitting on my bed, paralyzed, like still. And he's like slowly reaching his hands over, and I'm shaking, I'm freaking out, and then he starts tickling me, and I don't start laughing. I'm like freaking out the whole time.
Yeah, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
bro.
and I haven't had I haven't had nightmares period in a very long time, and I'm very glad that stopped.
Yes.
I feel
Well,
like nightmares for me have turned from actual scary things to just regular day things that I would hate. Like I wake up late for an exam and I miss it, and I'm in real life I wake up, I'm like, oh no.
It's like inconveniences, right?
Yeah, it's all inconveniences.
I get nightmares that are very low frequency these days as well, but my nightmares like of recent are usually just like me in my bed, just like paralyzed and just like trying to wake myself up. And I have this thing sometimes where I do it, I wake myself up, but it's another dream.
Oh no, isn't that what they call?
Like the record I have is like 3.
Oh wow, it's like Inception.
I was gonna say that's an Inception type
fucked up.
business.
The first thing you described sounds a lot like sleep paralysis, when you can't get yourself up, and it feels like something.
But that's like when you're
down.
actually awake though.
You're like half awake, half asleep.
Exactly,
type thing,
yeah.
But you're saying you were
Like
fully in a dream still.
Like I'm fully in a dream.
So you were sleeping in a dream where you were sleeping in a dream where you were sleeping.
Exactly.
I've had that where I wake up in the dream, and I go to the bathroom and I pee, and then I wake up after that in real life. Like so I woke up but I didn't pee myself.
Yeah.
I've heard stories of people peeing themselves, but I wake up from a nap in my dream.
Yeah.
And I like go pee, and then I wake up again. But what I was gonna say is that I transitioned at some point in my life from those like really weird not supernatural, but like that freaky.
That's supernatural.
Yeah, like this demon figure thing.
Yeah.
To frequently having like home invasion.
Oh yeah,
nightmares.
you told us about this.
The amount of times I'd in my dream, I'd like be in my room, and I would like hear a noise outside. I'd like make my way over to, from downstairs to like from the upstairs level to my middle level in my house. It's like there's a staircase and then a huge window before I go down into the dining room, and in the window I can see out onto the street. And there's always like either one man or two men or three people, like shadowy figures approaching the house.
Yeah.
And then I start panicking, and most of the dream kind of stops there usually. Like it doesn't ever get to the point where they actually break in and there's a whole conflict. But just the anticipation of knowing
idea
something's
of it.
coming, it would just I would be like in that weird space for a long time, and then I'd wake up like freaking out.
I think that's a good. I don't know where you want to take this, Malcolm, but to me that segues into what I'm thinking about right now, which is if we were to like, let's say, okay, no, I don't want to say that. Between paranormal stuff and like real life people breaking in, people hurting you.
What's scarier to
What's
us?
scarier to me is like strangers and like like
I
real
think-
life stuff
I
happening.
think partly
See, me saying real life stuff implies
Well,
that
you're
supernatural
kinda
stuff is
touching
not
on
real.
what I've always said, and I'll get to a point about the paranormal stuff in a second, but you're kind of touching on what I've always said with, I mentioned Hereditary earlier, but like how I always talk to you guys about how I like Midsummer more than Hereditary because I find Midsummer scarier because in Midsummer it's people doing the horrifying shit, whereas in Hereditary it's like, oh, it's a demon, and it's
Yeah.
like because that's like less tangible
Yeah.
and less
Exactly.
realistic.
Yeah.
It like
It's
comes
all
across
plausible
as
in
less-
Midsommar.
Exactly, like in Midsummer, it's all plausible, whereas in Hereditary, it's like clearly fiction. But what I was gonna say about the paranormal stuff, not to dunk on people who believe in that, but what I'm saying about the paranormal stuff, what fascinates me about it, and what I love with paranormal stuff is that why is it so inherently freaky to us? Like, what is it that makes like ghosts and spirits and all that shit like so terrifying? Because like Hereditary is such a horrifying movie.
Oh my
and
god.
it's like,
horrifying.
I'm more scared of
why?
that movie scared me more than any movie's ever scared me, and even more than Midsommar. Even though generally I would say that real threats terrify me more than like demons and ghosts and stuff because I don't believe in those things. But for some reason, that movie, the way they show it, is just like it scares me more than
The way they show it
Midsommar.
too, it's like there's demon followers, and that's
That is
real.
the
Yes, right.
rituals.
Yeah.
That's freaky.
That was one of the
That's
scary.
freaky.
Yeah, you're right. One of the scariest parts of the movie is like knowing that the grandmother was doing rituals and
Yeah.
like all this freaky.
And there's
yeah.
people in on it. But that's what I was gonna say too, to the point of, even though I always make the claim that like specifically with Midsummer and Hereditary, I like Midsummer more, but generally in my horror, I kind of like the stuff that's a little more like plausible. Even some of the sci-fi stuff, it's like, oh, it's an alien movie, like The Thing. Like aliens, again, as far
Or-
as we know,
yeah.
we've had this conversation, don't exist. But it's like the idea of like, oh, this thing from another planet comes and starts killing you is slightly more in the realm of possibility to me than like ghosts.
Or like The
I would say
Shining.
infinitely more, but
Or like
again.
The Shining. But what I was going to say with Hereditary is, even though I think Midsummer's scarier, there's also an added layer of fear with something like Hereditary, because it's kind of the way I think about video games, where it's like, as scary as a game like, let's say, Resident Evil 8 is, what gives me solace in a game like that is you have guns and the things you're fighting are killable and you can defend yourself. So that's always
right.
what gives me some sort of like hope in that, where I'm like, all right, like even though I'm terrified, at least I can fight back. Whereas in a game like Outlast, which is the one where it's just you with the camera and like
Oh,
the
yeah.
insane asylum, and there's no way, it's literally just run and hide. That's all you can do.
Oh my god.
That's the thing with like a movie like Hereditary and with like supernatural shit, where there is technically, even though it's less realistic, the thought of it in a way is also more scarier than the realistic
can't
stuff,
stop it.
because you can't do anything.
It's
like
inevitable.
it's beyond anything
You're right.
It's out of your control.
that like
Also-
humans can do or kill
Yeah.
or stop or whatever. And maybe that's part of it. And like that's what I was saying, which is supernatural stuff, where it's interesting to me that it's so freaky
Mm.
to us, and it's like, why?
Honestly,
Mhm.
yeah. Go ahead, Mel.
I just wanted to ask a question to all of you
Sure.
to see
Please.
what you guys would think was like more scary to you.
Okay.
Like, would it be more scary if you walked into your room and you saw like in the far dark corner of your room there was like a figure, like a really tall figure standing there?
Slender Man?
Not like I don't know.
The
Not
Bobbit,
a
the
Slender
Bobbit,
Man,
the
just
Bobbit.
something like just a dark figure,
Sure.
like a really tall dark figure standing in the corner of the room. Or would it be scary if you looked out your window and you saw a man standing in the middle of the street staring into your window?
Oh my
The room.
god.
The room
The
one.
room thing.
The room thing definitely, like they're both supernatural stuff.
No.
The man
Oh.
on the street is
The
like
man
a
is
Man
just
on
a
the
man.
street is just a normal man on the
Oh my
street.
god,
It's like
those are
it's a
both
random
sound
guy.
very, very
They
scary.
are, but that's the thing, to Malcolm's point, where even though again I'm saying
and that's not
scarier,
fair, because it's not a one-to-one scenario.
But I'm
though.
saying, I was gonna say, even if the human man was in your room, I'm still taking
Oh,
the dark
okay.
spirit
Oh, of
thing,
course,
and that's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying. Where it's like, even though I find Midsummer scary because it's real, if all things are equal
Yeah.
and the ghosts and the human beings are real,
Yeah, then
give
of
me the
course
humans
yeah.
10 out of 10
Of
times. Like, I'll
course.
take my chances with some crazy Swedes in the fucking
All
middle
you,
of
all, you
Yeah.
got, all you gotta do is pick up your Glock and go
Exactly.
to town.
My Glock that I carry with me, my iconic Glock that I carry with me at all times. That
Matty's
like
iconic Glock.
that is, give me that every day of the week. Because yeah, the second like spooky shit like that is suddenly real, and it's like, you know, there's fucking apparitions and stuff in your house.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm like, okay, game over. Like
Yeah.
That's it.
just kill me already. I
Yeah.
don't want to try and run. I don't want to resist. Like
Yeah.
just take me.
That's when you point your Glock at yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I point it under my chin and just go like, nope. You don't get me, ghost.
Imagine people with schizophrenia who
Oh no.
have
Oh my
sensory
God.
experiences of like
Oh Lord.
supernatural stuff.
I've heard stories
That's
like that.
terrifying.
I've watched YouTube interviews of like people with schizophrenia describing their experiences, and
Yeah.
oftentimes it's like long stretches of the day where they don't know what's real and what's not.
That's
It's
so
like, good Lord.
terrifying. Yeah. There's like this one TED talk where it's someone talking about schizophrenia, and she has it herself, and she says like, "Oh, most places I go, there's a clown that's in the room
Oh
with
my
me."
God.
And
dude.
she's presenting this TED talk talking about schizophrenia. And she's like, "The clown is among the crowd today." Like she's talking and like giving this presentation. She's saying she sees a clown in the audience. You know what I mean?
That's
I couldn't
terrifying.
imagine living my life like that.
Clowns don't normally freak me out, but just you saying that, I'm like,
Honestly,
yuck.
me neither. But have you seen the Terrifier clown? I
Yeah.
saw his image online, and that is the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, there's just it's just something about weird, freaky shit like that. I don't want I won't go too far down this rabbit hole just because I'd kind of a topic I'd like to get to someday, maybe around Halloween, is like horror as a topic.
Hell yeah,
like
dude.
kind of
Oh,
across
wow. Yeah.
media and whatever.
Yeah.
But like one thing I'll just sort of touch on that's like vaguely related to this is I don't know how familiar you guys are with analog horror,
What is that?
which is basically this like thing that's a subgenre of horror that exists primarily only on YouTube. And the two biggest examples of it is this series done by this really talented.
Oh my God, you're about to
Dude.
say the green finger guy.
What?
Salad fingers?
No, that's like animation stuff.
Oh,
I'm saying so
okay.
this analog. The idea with analog horror is it's taking like out of date technology and sort of building horror around that. So kind of like if we were to watch a movie like The Blair Witch Project now.
Yeah,
What's freaky about The Blair Witch Project is that it's like
VHS or whatever.
VHS and like shot on tape, and it's not like prestige. It's like the reason the modern Blair Witch movies don't work is because it's like 4K cameras and it looks too good. Whereas there's something about these three people in the original Blair Witch Project walking around the woods, and it's like 480p footage,
And the details
and you
not
can't
quite,
really
yeah.
see what's in the
Yeah.
distance. Maybe
Yeah.
that was something like this that added freakiness to it. The two biggest examples is one, this series called The Backrooms, which I'm sure if you guys saw the pictures of, you would know, where it's the idea of like there's this other like reality or dimension or space that kind of looks like office buildings,
Oh,
but
I've
like
seen that.
infinite, like it
Oh,
never ends.
yeah.
It's just infinitely going, like, you know, yellow tinged light.
Like what?
Like-
The back rooms? Is that
Yes,
what it's called?
that's the Backrooms, where it's like the infinite like space,
Okay.
and it's just this idea of like getting lost in there and all this stuff. And this guy on YouTube, his name is Kane Pixels, has like a series where he basically makes. Some of them have like live action stuff, but a lot of them are CG. But it's like genuinely, legitimately, really well done, and it's a whole series of videos like about the like lore and stuff behind this, and like how there's like shit like monsters and stuff kind of in there that like start killing people and shit. And the other freaky one, which I'm less familiar with, is this thing called the Mandela Catalog, which is this fictional thing, but they present it as real, and then again to the analog part using like old shaky camera footage and like out of date audio sounding shit. But it's the idea that there's this like county in the States called Mandela County where people start going missing, but they're also reporting seeing like doppelgangers of themselves, like some
Oh,
skinwalker
wow.
type shit, but where their faces are like all fucked up, like so it's them, but like
Are you talking about what's been on like social media?
yes, if you've seen those
Oh my
Instagram
God, I
videos where
love
it's like a
those.
girl standing in her like bathroom and there's like a TV
Dude,
broadcast being
I
like,
fucking
you know,
love that.
stay in your homes if you see something that looks like you, and then
Yeah.
she turns and looks
Oh,
down
I've
her
seen
hallway,
Dude.
and it's like
It's-
that same girl, and she's got like a creepy ass fucking grin on
You know
her
what it
face.
is? It's like yeah, it's like this. I saw this one of this like girl with brown hair, and she's like washing her hair in the bathroom or whatever, and she can hear the broadcast going on in her bedroom, and she like they're talking about the doppelganger thing, and then like her lights turn off for a second, and they turn back on, and she like walks out to investigate, and she sees like her corridor outside of her room, and there's just like her smiling with huge eyes and a big smile, just like at the end of the hallway.
That's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
So it's like some like skinwalker like replacement, like you
and it's-
know
Yeah.
these like evil entity things that look like you know, like killing
And,
and
it,
replacing.
and it's
you
always
all that
like
shit.
crackly like video, and it's like really
Yeah,
cool.
and that's the thing with the analog horror stuff. And so I said that this wasn't going to be a whole thing, and then it turned into a whole thing. But what I'm trying to get is like, that's let's say paranormal adjacent, because it's not like ghosts necessarily, but it's also just like weird, spooky, unexplainable shit. And specifically the backroom stuff that this guy on YouTube does, I am obsessed with it and just find it so interesting. And that's like, not to sound like a broken record here, but that's what I guess I like about the paranormal stuff. As somebody who doesn't really think about it and like care about it or believe in it, I just find it interesting from the perspective of like, it's just so freaky. Why is it so freaky to us? Because your average person would sit around and probably be like, yeah, I don't believe in ghosts or anything. They're like, it's a little too far-fetched for me. And yet, like, it's horrifying. And it's like, it's not real. It's all, like, make-believe. But it's like, why is it so... Like, it almost feels like there's something, like, built into us.
You know what it is?
That's, like, freaks us out about it.
I think a part of it is that none of us have ever... If you ask someone and they say, I don't believe in ghosts or whatever, it's because they haven't seen anything that they would think is a ghost.
Right.
So what's terrifying about it, especially for people who don't believe in it, is like, I've never seen what this looks like, and I can't say for certain that it doesn't exist. So the fact that like it could be out there, that's
But
terrifying.
also, if I were to give an alternate explanation, there's people who like are dead set, like they don't believe in ghosts and stuff. But the reason why stuff like horror movies still scare people is because we have like a really good ability to, like a really good imagination sort of
Fill
thing.
in the
Like we
space.
can put, especially when you're in the theater, like you get lost in the movie kind of
Right.
thing.
That's
So there's the suspension of disbelief there.
Right.
Yep.
Where
And
it's like you get lost in this world.
And also, a lot of horror movies do this really good thing that play on, like, not really showing the creature until like very close to the end, or maybe like 3/4 the way in, because the anticipation and not having seen it and like seeing little things and hearing little things, like our imagination, like you're saying, like it fills in the space and it allows us to kind of like start thinking of what it may look like, and that's sometimes scarier than what it actually looks like in the movie. Is like the thought of it.
Right. I guess that's a good way of putting it, Patrick, that it is like sometimes just your imagination running wild, where it's the same thing in real life of like the amount of times I've been walking somewhere in the dark, whether it's at night on a street or like in my own freaking house, and you look in like a dark corner of a room or whatever.
Yeah.
And for like half a second, like your mind tricks you into maybe seeing something move, or even if it doesn't, you're just staring at a dark corner of the room.
Yeah.
Then you start thinking about it and you're like,
Fuck, dude.
is there something in that dark
Yeah,
corner?
yeah.
There's probably something in that dark corner. I'm going to run up the stairs and go to bed now. Like, I guess there is that like human imagination element to it that just freaks us out.
You guys ever do this thing where there is that moment where you're in your room and you see like a pile of clothes and you're like, is that a figure? Is that a person? Is that a head or whatever? And then sometimes like, I haven't done this in a long time because I feel like I've gotten better at controlling my own emotions and like mental state. But sometimes like my mind would be like, all right, think about it, think about this, think about that. Like I would just go down a downward spiral of like imagining it going more and more intense.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm in my car, and this happens to this day. Like not very often, but sometimes in my car, and I'm just thinking about, like, is there someone in my back seat? And like I open the windows because I just need to feel the breeze of air on my face, and like I turn up the music, or I call Malcolm, for example, sometimes, where I'm like, I'm just driving home. I just need to feel the silence.
That's what I'm saying, where it's like or what you were saying, I guess, where it's like we just get in our own heads and like freak ourselves out about.
I thought
shit.
Patrick
It's
was
very
I thought Patrick actually wanted to talk. It turns out he just wanted some comfort.
Exactly. He wanted.
It doesn't
company.
happen. It doesn't happen very often.
He wanted a record to be kept so that if he got abducted by some fucking ghoul, that there'd be at least like somebody on the line that could tell the police and be like, it sounded like, he was being possessed or invaded or something.
Oh my god.
Good lord. But anyways, thanks for scaring the shit out of me, Malcolm. That's great. Thanks for doing that. I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
Now moving on to Balderik Fahim.
Balderik, take it away.
I don't like how you were confused for like 4 seconds there, not knowing what's happening.
Yeah, I had to point at him and be like, hey, point up, do something about Patrick.
No, but even when you signaled, like he was like trying to like imagine what
He
could
was still thinking about
what
the
could that
ghosts.
signal mean.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what I want to know from you guys is,
Fire away.
yeah. So, I'm trying to think of how to word this.
Go for it.
When you guys are with someone who's like a potential partner,
Mm-hmm.
like a potential, girlfriend, romantic interest, how long does that honeymoon phase last usually, you think?
Now describe honeymoon phase for me.
Like where it's like you're not really like flagging anything. I feel like I just gave away what I wanted to talk about. Where you're not really flagging anything, where it's like you're just enjoying the vibes, right?
Sure.
How long does that usually last? Because for me, that's maybe after the first encounter.
You're saying this is in a relationship?
No.
Or
When
before
you start talking to somebody.
When
Honestly?
you start talking, well, but honeymoon phase is usually applied to like relationships.
That's true. I guess in my perception, there's also a phase where like you start talking to somebody and like you brush off.
Sure. Yes.
Things.
I get what
I
you're
didn't mean
saying.
to say honeymoon
No,
phase.
but
Honestly,
that works. I get what you're saying.
But even then, to me, I think about like in a relationship, there is still a honeymoon phase where you are ignoring things a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe you are rationalizing things and being like, oh, it's not going to be ever a problem. It's all good.
Mhm.
So to me, it's like I can't answer your question without thinking about the relationship part of it too. Because to me, it usually extends into the relation. It's extended into the relationship.
Oh,
type
so
thing.
it lasts a pretty
A
substantial
long time,
you're
yeah.
saying?
A long time before I, like, there are little things that you might say like, oh, this thing I don't like, that thing I don't like.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, I would probably guess and say that at least maybe a month of like being around this person, hanging out with this person before you start to even think about things that could bother you. Like to me,
Really?
to me, I think personally because I'm someone who's like, I'm a romantic type, and if I'm in like a situationship or relationship with someone, I'm
you
like
said situationship. Who didn't
He
like
did.
that word?
I didn't like
You
it.
I don't
didn't
know,
like
but
that
I
word.
also don't like it. He said that, and for
Yeah.
a split second, I was like, angry.
Honestly, it's definitely not a word
So
that I
why'd
like
you
to
use
use
it?
because I think it fits actually pretty well.
Oh, okay.
Because other than describe me just being like, oh, someone I'm talking to but not officially just say situationship.
He's
you know?
become one of them.
I have become one of them. But to me, it's like the situationship or just meeting someone, talking to them, getting to know them, and then starting to date them. To me, that kind of like honeymoon phase that you're talking about
Yeah.
stretches from when I meet them until maybe like, a month or two of like actually being around them all the time.
Yeah.
Then I feel like at some point then I would start thinking more rationally.
Well, this could be a whole thing, but I want to steer us more towards like once you're out of that phase, what
Yeah.
are the things you guys sort of look at, for lack of a better word, like red flags in people? Like what are things that you dislike when it pops up? It's like, oh,
Where do we start? Where do we begin?
Big topic.
I'm gonna go off of a girl I was talking to before Isabel.
okay.
To be clear, he is not talking about Isabel.
I went with her I think maybe like 6 or 7 times, and the first couple times we didn't really get into like very much conversating like about her interests, or like I didn't really get to know her that well until like the next couple dates.
The,
but-
the
So what was it?
implication, yeah, we all know what the implication was for those
No,
things.
Honestly, my guess was when you said that, I was like, the first couple of times was just like a physical attraction type thing, and not because you said we didn't talk, we didn't have conversations
talk
about
much,
like
interest.
no, we
so-
did talk, but like it took a little while to get to know her and like the kind of things that
Sure.
would annoy me.
So what were the
Okay.
what were the first 2 times like, and then was it kind of like
It was,
I'm being
it was a little awkward at first, but like
waka-kaka, waka-kaka? Was it
I don't
just,
know,
was it
the
just being
first time,
polite?
I think we went to
basically?
the ROM and like just kind of got to
that's
know each
cute.
other and
This was the girl directly before Bella.
You don't have to say if you don't want to, but sure.
I don't remember.
This is why he's the pure sex appeal.
This is why he's
Dude, he fucking
the sex man.
he's just with him, and then he's like, I don't even remember you anymore.
But either way, it wasn't until
I don't even
like,
remember who
I
you
think
are.
the 5th date
Yeah.
and talking to her over FaceTime is when I realized I can't deal with this kind of person.
Why,
What did she
happened?
do?
She was unreasonable. She was completely unreasonable, and I think why I couldn't deal with it is because she was crying. And like sometimes if a girl cries, I go, oh, like it's okay, like I'm there to comfort her. But in this scenario,
Oh my goodness.
in this scenario, I was like,
Your red flag is crying?
no.
Malcolm.
Wait. In this scenario, my red flag was crying because she was crying over my opinion.
Oh, this was the girl that you
wow.
went to Brampton to skate with?
Yeah, and she was crying because we were disagreeing about something with the feminist movement, which did happen.
Okay.
And she got real upset. She just got quiet for like a minute, and I was like, "Why are you so quiet?" And she's like, "I just see you as a completely different person now. Like I can't believe this is you." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then she started crying. She started
Oh,
crying on
wow.
FaceTime, and I was just,
That's
I
crazy.
was just sitting there like with a straight face, just waiting for it to end.
Can I say something?
It-
Patrick, when you said that, when you were like, Malcolm, your red flags is crying, I just imagine him being like, yeah, so like this liquid started coming out of her eyes like he's an alien. Like he's an alien. Like he's an alien and he doesn't know what it is. And he's like, and then she started making a weird face. And
I just hate when that happens when girls do that. It's so weird.
Mima died and she broke down, and that just wasn't doing it. For me.
I know
stop being such a little.
I know you're probably not going to remember, but it just begs the question: what on earth were you guys talking about for her to cry on FaceTime? Like, oh, I see you as a completely different person.
Well, he's saying it was like a social issue or whatever. And then
But what exactly about feminism made her cry?
She was just very, very liberal. Here's what, and she was telling me how she really agreed with the in Quebec when COVID was around, taxing everyone that wasn't vaccinated.
Okay.
And we also disagreed on that, and I told her how stupid I thought that was, and that also made her very upset.
And it made her cry.
I think that one might have made her cry.
I feel like whatever her political leanings are, I feel like she doesn't encounter many people who disagree with her.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's crazy. It's to a point where she's talking to someone who she disagrees with, and she can't handle it. It's so foreign to her that she breaks out into tears, Matthew.
Red flag.
That is
indeed a red flag.
When it comes to red flags, I mean, like I said earlier, where do you even start? Like, there's so many things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's obvious things, like what Malcolm's kind of describing, or like just general, like, you know, like literal crazy behaviors. Like I'm saying, insane things that like would like drive you away. But in terms of like slightly more, I guess, mundane but realistic,
lighthearted,
like kind of red flags, there's some that jump out to me, like time management is one of them.
So you're saying if Patrick and I were females, you would not be interested?
I would not be interested in you guys. Yeah, because like I'm somebody who I always say
I'm not gonna lie to you, my time management has been on point this semester.
But okay, hold on. When I say time management though, I'm saying like that means like I always make the joke that I say I run like the Japanese transit system, where I am like to the fucking second. I am a bullet train. Like I am. If I say I'm gonna be there at like if I tell you I'm gonna be somewhere at like 107, I'm there at like 106 in 30 seconds.
I can corroborate that.
Yeah.
He is like that.
And I'm more like a flight, and I'm always delayed.
Yes, and that's what I was gonna say is like what annoys me specifically about you guys. I mean, we've talked about this over the years, but like
is the color of our skin.
Is the color of your skin? Oh my God, no, please. No, it's like if any of you guys aren't ready for something, or like how I always say that I'm the kind of person where if you guys tell me like, oh, I'm going to come pick you up, I immediately put my coat on, my shoes are on, and I'm standing at my front door looking through the peephole, waiting to see your guys' car pull up. But I know you fucking guys, you guys are the people where if I'm like, hey, I'm going to be there, and it doesn't matter how much heads up notice and time I give you, you guys will still, I'll get there and be like, I'm here, and they'll be like, okay, I gotta grab my coat, I'm gonna take a quick drink,
here's the thing.
I'm gonna piss, I'm gonna put my shoes on.
I have to disagree in a little bit of a way, because to me it depends on what the thing is. If it's just like we're hanging out like we usually do, maybe we're just watching a movie at someone's house, maybe my punctuality is not great. But if I'm very excited about something, if we're going out to a thing and we're all very excited about it, I'd say the vast majority of the time I'm waiting ready because I'm excited for it. But most of the time I'm just kind of like whatever.
But what I'm saying is just overall, and in terms of more of a like relationship status kind of thing, like being on time or like respectful of my time, my partner's own time, and like other people's time at large is like a thing for me. Where if like I would have a very hard time being with the kind of person who was like, you know, an hour late for shit, like regularly, not once in a while, like, oh, my car didn't start today, or like, oh, this like family emergency came up, but like,
hey, I'm gonna be an hour late because I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, like somebody who's consistently not respectful of, again, their time and the people around them's kind of time. That for me jumps out.
Can I throw in a red flag for myself?
Yes,
please.
So to me, one of the biggest things I think that's necessary for a relationship is like proper communication, like actually talking to each other about shit that bothers you. So the one of the fucking biggest red flags to me, and I've met people like this, they just don't talk about how they're feeling. It's all like playing games, and it's all like hiding stuff. Like one thing that I really like is being open about how I'm feeling, and I wear my heart on my sleeve and I talk about things that I'm feeling. And when I'm, you know, engaging with someone who is the opposite of that and is very like closed book, to me, it drives me crazy. It's like, this could be so easy and we could just like move past this, you know, conversation in 2 minutes. But because of the lack of communication from this one side, it's going to take like, you know, a week of like figuring it out, you know?
Yeah, I hear that. I never thought about those. Well, specifically what Matty was saying, more so, but less so.
Okay.
What you're saying. For me, I have a few red flags written down. One of them I've said to you guys before, and I don't like. I'm gonna phrase it the way I usually phrase it, and then I'm gonna change the phrasing because I don't like the way I phrase it, which is like intelligence. But that always makes me. I hate saying that because I'm not like a crazy smart guy or anything.
You're not winning a Nobel Prize.
I'm not winning a Nobel Prize over here, so that's why I don't want to put it that way. I would say like I don't like a red flag for me is like shallow, like people who are shallow.
Sure.
So I've already told you guys this story, but you know the girl who I was out with, and she had thought that China was next to Brazil.
Oh no.
And she had some opinions about brown people. We don't need to. We
Yeah,
don't.
also,
need to-
also by the way,
yeah.
like if she got something that's kind of like not common knowledge wrong,
Yeah.
like where Bolivia is like in relation to another random country, that's different.
Like Georgia.
Yeah, like Georgia.
Like Georgia, exactly. but even with Georgia, like we were all in the ballpark.
But literally, like South America and Asia, that's unforgivable.
It's crazy. No, but South American Asia, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Because we were talking, and the reason why I couldn't move past it is because I was like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but she jumped into what I was saying. She's like, "Oh, that's perfect because like they're right next to each other," and
she was confident.
she
She
said it with
jumped in.
confidence, and she was like, "That's perfect, Patrick," and I was like. I actually laughed in her face. I for real couldn't hold myself back from
God.
laughing. It was insane.
Jesus. Well, but I get what you're saying where, when you phrase it as like, oh, intelligence or like a lack of intelligence as a red flag, I get that sounds a little like maybe like dickish than you intended to
No.
be. But I get what you're saying in the sense of like,
That's why I think shallow is a better word.
well, I guess, but like I get what you're saying about like, it's a red flag to somebody who's like not particularly like, not even book smart's the right word, but just like not like aware of
is what I'm
things.
saying. Like
Yeah.
shallow. Like I
Okay.
don't know. To me, that's what that means. But
Yeah, or like the
yeah.
kind of idea of like, I mean, I've cited this before, but like the kind of Valley Girl idea, or like being very vapid and kind of like airheaded, I guess is the idea.
Sure.
yeah, that's another way of putting it. And it's when it's someone like that, it's an indicator to me that I can't really
Get along with them.
get along, but in the sense of I can't discuss things with
Yeah,
them.
you can't relate
and
to them.
I can't really relate to them. We can't have deeper
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's such a
No, but honestly, I
generalization, but yeah.
Yeah. Also, I understand your trepidation with saying that it's like you don't want to make it seem like you're superior and
No,
whatever.
yeah, that's definitely
But-
not what I'm trying to like
but-
give off here.
But I think
yeah.
at the same time you should also still be clear that honestly, that type of person is not going to be on your level conversationally. Like even if you try to force it, like
Yeah.
they're never going to be able to keep up with you conversationally.
Well, she's still the perfect example because in the very brief amount of time we spent together, there are stuff
3
like
years.
Yeah, 3 years. The very brief amount of
You
time.
fucking that thing happened. That South America Asia thing happened day one, and he proceeded to be with her for another 2.5 years.
No. Yeah, I would try to bring things up, and the embodiment of what you're saying, Mark, is she would reply saying like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, she
Or
can't,
like-
she can't elaborate.
Yeah, she can't elaborate. It's just like one-liners, just trying to move the conversation along, kind of
I
thing.
think a part of it is that she probably doesn't think about any of that sort of stuff, and so when you bring it up, she has no thoughts on the matter anyway.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
she's just trying to like just listen and I don't know, maybe just trying to escape it. I guess that's what it seems like to me.
And I mean, let me know if you want to keep talking about that particular thing, but I wanted
Yeah.
to throw in another red
Go
flag of
for
mine.
it. Yeah.
To me, it's like lacking a sense of humor and lacking like the ability to just like banter back and forth
Yeah.
and just be goofy. The ability to be goofy is so fucking valuable to me. Of like, I don't know. Sometimes I hang out with certain people, and there's like a long stretch of time of just like serious, straightforward conversation. It just gets like very boring after a while, and it's like,
Yeah.
let's just be silly every once in a while and just talk shit.
I
Yeah.
think that's fair what Mark's saying. I think it's kind of underrated, that goofy side of
Yeah.
someone. I don't think I have any friends that I'm not really goofy with or joke around with.
Because
at
you
all.
wouldn't be
yes.
friends with people who
No.
are like super serious all the time.
I couldn't be.
Someone who can't take a joke, like the girl Malcolm brought up, who cried about. I don't even know what you guys were talking about with regards to feminism, but like her, like you wouldn't be able to make any sort of joke around
no
her.
jokes.
So it's someone who can't, like Mark's saying, like who doesn't have that goofy side and who will take you seriously no matter what you say.
Well,
You can't Or the other side could be they're offended by it. I don't know.
No, what I was just gonna say is like generally the way I think about it is like how often are you? Well, I guess I would ask you guys in the way I think about it. It's like how often are you truly serious? Because that's my thing. I live a very like laid back, goofy, like make jokes about everything, laugh at everything kind of lifestyle. Like I'm very rarely serious in quotes about things.
I'm serious whenever I'm not around you guys.
Interesting.
Honestly, no, but I'm saying even in your day-to-day life, if you're like at work or like talking to people at school that aren't us, like are you like seriously like very like kind of solemn and like, you know, we're having a conversation about something, or are you just yourself of like, you know, hey man, what's up, blah 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 blah. Like that's what I'm saying, where it's like I'm very rarely serious with anybody in my life, whether it's complete strangers, you guys, family, whoever, unless it's like if we were gonna have like a serious conversation about something or a discussion, that's one thing. But even in those, I'll throw in some little goofy things or bits of humor there. So it's like being people that are very like lighthearted and kind of humorous overall. I think to Mark's point, it's like that would definitely stick out as a downside in a partner who is like very always serious, always locked in, and not even like can't take a joke kind of thing, but it's literally just like everything they talk about is like, you know, they're never like, oh, like look at that stupid thing over there, or like, you know, look at that guy's dumb hat. Like if you're walking out in the street, honestly, like it's always locked in of like,
dude, you're right,
serious business all the time.
I've had people say something to me where I'm like, oh, look at that stupid hat that guy's wearing, that looks so terrible, and then they'll be like, well, I mean, I'm sure it's fine. Like, it's not a big deal.
That's
I'm like,
who I am.
dude, like sometimes, yeah. I mean, Patrick's done that every once in a while. Yeah. But yeah, to me, it's like, sometimes I joke around and I want it to be taken as such. It's just like, we're just being silly. Yeah. But there are some people who are just going to like, I'm not saying Patrick necessarily, but there are some. Say it. I mean, but not always. Sometimes you'll like laugh around with me too. Yeah. But yeah, there are some people who just won't follow you to the jokey place. They'll just be like, they take what you said as a statement, not as a joke. So it's like very like, oh, that's not nice to say. It's like, I'm just being silly. Like I don't hate this person or dislike this person. It's just like,
yeah, you know. It's just that's the thing too, where it's like, it's definitely something I personally value, and like thankfully, with my lady friend now, like her and I do, you know, laugh together constantly and are like always joking about shit, and it's like we've had more like serious conversations about stuff, but like it's not like everything is like this constant, like, you know, buttoned up, like, you know, it's like throw your hair back every once in a while, kick your sneakers off, you know.
Yeah, dip your toe in the pool. What I was gonna say, because you asked the question of like, when are we serious in our lives personally? To me, it's like, I'm always very serious when it comes to something that I'm passionate about. If I'm talking about something that I'm really passionate about, I'm likely not going to be like jokey about it. Like I'll be like very straightforward about like, well, this is amazing. This is why I love it, whatever it is. And then also when it comes to like, I guess, and I'm sure all you guys are the same way when it comes to like career stuff. I don't really take that more jokey or lighthearted. I take that as like, I have to be serious about this. This is a responsibility that I have to figure out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
but that, I feel like those are two separate things where it's like, that's you personally being like serious about this important thing. Yeah. But I'm just saying, when I say like, how often are you serious in your life? I just mean like in terms of like
day to day
and like acting and stuff. And that's what I was saying to Patrick, where he's like, when I'm not around you guys, I'm like more serious. And to me, it's like, but even at work, like granted, a lot of people I work with, I'm like friendly enough with, but it's like people at work or, you know, people I just encounter in my day to day. Like I'm never like, my instinct is never to go in like serious or with like, you know, this is an important thing or blah, blah. It's always like a lighthearted kind of like, hey, what's up? Like blah, 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 you know, like,
you know what? I think
screwing around.
To me, I think it depends on if I like the person that I'm hanging out with. Like, I feel like sometimes if I don't like the people that I'm around, I'll be more serious because I'm not like, I don't know. I can't really relax and be comfortable and be my natural, like, just like fool around self. Mm-hmm. If I'm around someone who I'm just not comfortable with, then I might just be more straightforward and boring and serious.
Yeah. I'm going to steer us back here.
I was about to toss out another red flag.
I'll go for it. One. No, yeah, go for it. I was going to say green flag, but let's keep going with red flags.
Interesting.
After Matty's, we can talk about green flags. I'd like to.
Go ahead.
I kind of want to hear your green flag.
No, I mean, let's keep it the same.
Okay, red flags. This is going to come off
Condescending.
Not condescending. This is going to come off maybe more judgmental than I intend it to, let's say, but it's also, it's red flags, and that's kind of the whole
Dude,
thing.
That's the
I'm
whole
so
point.
sorry. My back is killing me. I don't know. Like, it's really in
Go
pain.
do some stretches. We'll
Yeah,
keep
it's
it
okay.
going.
It's okay.
Do you want us to pause?
No, it's okay.
No, I was
Okay.
going to say let him do some stretches. We'll keep going. What I was going to say is, like, I also, a red flag to me is, I guess, how people, like, treat themselves or take care of themselves. And I know that's a very broad statement, but like people who don't like take care of themselves is a red flag for me. And I mean that in like a physical and an emotional
Like they
sense.
who don't brush their teeth, you're saying?
Sure, like that's a physical example of like, oh, you don't brush your teeth, like what's wrong with you? Or somebody, it's like, I personally am not into like, oh, like if you're like a heavy smoker or something like that doesn't do it for me.
Yes.
But even in like
It's
an
a turn off for me
emotional
as well.
yeah, but like even in an emotional sense where it's like if you don't take care of yourself, this kind of goes into what we were saying about the serious thing and the humor thing, where it's like I definitely am somebody who like takes time for themselves to like just unwind and like sit around playing a video game or reading a comic book or just listen to a podcast or watching TV. And I feel like if like it's that it would be a red flag for me to have a partner who like can't take that time to like turn off kind of thing. Like they're always in the middle of doing something or working or, this, that, and the other thing.
It's like someone who can't really slow it down.
Somebody who can't slow down. And again, it goes into like the can't take care of themselves thing, be it emotional or physical. Like to me,
Like
it's
they're
like
just
you got to be
always-
able to like,
You're saying if the engine is at full capacity,
Like
that's gonna hurt them eventually.
You're saying, like,
yeah, like you got to be able to take care of yourself physically, literally, like obviously, brush your teeth, like, shower, eat, hopefully relatively healthy, like try to stay active, like, don't be
That's something I
smoking
can
like,
improve on.
20 packs of freaking Marlboros a day.
What I'm imagining is like this person that you're saying would be a red flag is someone who's just always like seems to be like a train wreck. Like everything, there's a lot of shit coming at them. They're like trying to figure everything out, and they're never just like relaxing, doing their own thing.
It's not even a train wreck thing. Even if it's somebody who like their life is going good, but if it's somebody who, let's say, like doesn't have a work-life balance thing, and again, this gets into more the emotional taking care of themselves than the literal physical, but like somebody who's, let's say, like always working, it's always go go go, and like doesn't take that time to like unwind and sort of relieve that stress, and isn't taking care of their mental health, let's say, like that to me is a similar thing of like you're not taking care of yourself in that emotional sense.
So how are they gonna
it's
take
like,
care of you?
well, it's not even so much that, but it's like, how are we gonna like, I want somebody, and again, with my girlfriend right now, I'm lucky enough where it's like,
You're like, I'm still looking for somebody.
no,
who's-
I can't. She's not doing it. No, it's like, I'm again very fortunate and lucky with her, where like she does work a lot with her job right now, but like her and I will hang out. It's like, what are we gonna do right now? Absolutely nothing. We're gonna just sit around and like watch TV or shoot the shit or whatever. So it's
Absolutely nothing.
that's what I like appreciate in her, is that like she has that like ability to sort of like wind down
Yes.
and just like take that sort of reprieve.
Yes, I have one more before we
Please.
go into green
I also
flags.
have another one. I have another red
Okay,
flag that I
we'll
want-
keep going with the red flags a little longer. This is like no shade against people who are what
No,
I'm
no,
about
no.
to say.
No,
Here
no,
we go.
shade on them.
He's
Let's do
gonna
it.
say furries.
No, I was gonna say crystal girls.
Oh my
There we go.
goodness! Wow, yeah.
That- and
that's
the
a-
were you
You
thinking
go.
that too?
You go.
Yeah, were you gonna say that?
No, I was just gonna say I actually had a conversation about crystal girls the other day with some girls and
Who are
a
crystal
couple
girls?
other guys that I was sitting with. No, that aren't crystal girls.
Oh, okay.
Apparently they've never heard of them. They don't know. What
They
crystal
don't
girls
know
are.
how. Okay, the only thing with crystal girls to me is it's because of the experience I've had.
sure.
So
And I feel like just
yeah.
to elaborate quickly, by crystal girls, you mean like people who are into like not like passively, but like seriously, legitimately believe in like astrology, or like
Yes.
this crystal around my neck is giving me like healing proproperties, like that
Yes.
kind of
Or
stuff.
like
One
this
of our
crystal
fri-
in my bra is like
one of
doing
our-
something for me.
Yeah, one of our friends told us a really funny story. Shout out to Joey. He's in Europe right now. He was like, "Oh, I was talking to this crystal girl, and it was just casual. Like we were texting each other, and she told me to come over. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, I'll come over. So he goes over to her house, and he walks into her room, and he sees a bunch of crystals everywhere, and he sits down, and she comes up in front of him, and she's smiling, and she goes, "Do you want to?" She goes, "Do you want to know how I knew you would come?" And he goes, "What?" And she goes, she's holding a crystal. She goes, This crystal told me you would.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no! Honestly, at that point,
How terrifying
at that
is
point,
that,
I wouldn't be surprised if like the next thing that would happen is the doors lock.
Oh my god.
He turns around and there's like 8 bolts
Yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah.
He
door.
proceeds to do something that is very and I don't really usually say this word, but baller-esque,
Here we
Like
go.
admirable.
admirable. He claims that she said that, and he goes, well, he says this. He goes, I bet the crystal didn't tell you this, and then he walks out and leaves.
There's no way he did that.
I really want to believe he did that
Oh my
because
God.
that's
I'd like to
just
as well.
yes. So you're red flag. Yes.
Yeah. I also think that I also agree with that red flag. But mine that I wanted to mention, and this is the last one I'll mention, but
Mhm.
it's someone who has like nothing that they're passionate about or that they care about. You ever meet someone and they're just kind of like they have a I don't give a shit attitude about everything. Like they have no like personal hobbies or things that they really love. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's all right. I don't love that, but I don't hate it.
It's
It's
kind of
like,
like they
whatever.
have nothing going on. You're saying.
Yeah, everything's kind of down the middle. Like
I
not
see.
they're not like they have no enthusiasm. Like I love being around people who are like enthusiastic about shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like Matty will be like super enthusiastic about movies and video games, especially. You'll be really enthusiastic about a philosophical idea or whatever it is. Like Malcolm will be really enthusiastic about sports with me, like with MMA and stuff. And I just like being around people who really like certain things and like will make it a hobby of theirs. But I've met certain people who just don't have any personal hobbies and don't have any personal.
You're gonna be upset with me now
Sure.
because I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Okay.
But do you feel like I'm really having a hard time imagining someone who has
Doesn't
no interest? Like, is it possible that maybe you just don't know them that well?
possibly, but I'm saying like when you have conversations with someone
Yeah.
about like if I'm telling someone about my interests
Yeah.
and I'm something I'm enthusiastic about and they're not like and I'm asking them about what they're enthusiastic about and they're not really there's no energy there. They're like, oh, I guess I kind of like this and like there's just no passion. I think
I see.
I'm sure like they have interest and maybe if I got to know them more, they are more interested in certain
Yeah.
things. But like yeah, I don't know. People who are passionate is something that is a green flag for me.
Part of it with Mark's thing too is I feel like it could also be a thing of like if they have interests that like aren't what Mark's into. Like if you went to somebody
Sure.
and it's like, hey, what are you like? You watching like good TV shows lately? And they're like, no. They're like, have you checked out like King Botch though on like TikTok or whatever? And they're like really passionate about that. And Mark's like, what? Like,
Still
no.
a red flag.
Yeah, like Mark's like, the fuck? Like this person's got nothing.
Yeah. That was funny.
I wonder in all of this,
Mm-hmm.
just because we've all been tossing out there, is I would be curious to know, and I've spoken.
Has Malcolm said a red flag yet?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, Malcolm,
Well,
you gotta throw one
didn't
in,
you
dude.
touch on the first one
Yeah.
in the
I
beginning?
haven't even thought of any.
Oh,
for this.
crying.
Yeah, he talked about he's talking about
The crying.
The crying.
being overly sensitive.
He's the one
I
that
guess.
kicked us off, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You mentioned that one. No, but I was gonna say would be interested, and I've like talked with my lady friend and also other friends of mine who are girls about this, but like what their red flags are for guys, because I feel like we're all just
Bro, we
tossing
need a
out
female
ones.
on this podcast. Seriously, we need like the
Eventually,
other
yes.
side.
But what
can
I'm
get
saying is
someone,
like
I
we're
guess.
tossing out like like we don't like crystal girls, for example, or like that's a red
Yeah.
flag kind of thing. And I would
Yeah.
be interested to know like
I don't like jock guys.
in the reverse, if there are women who are like, oh my god, like he watches so much sports, like that's a red flag, or like
Or he's an anime dude.
or yeah,
Oh,
like, or
anime
if he's
dude
an
is probably
anime
one of them.
dude,
Oh
or,
my
like-
god, there's so many girls I've talked to who are like, they're like scared of people who like anime because they associate that with hentai.
Oh my god.
All that, and then also I feel like a lot of people will associate someone who's really into anime with being like gross and greasy and like kind of like a hermit person and
the
not someone.
stereotypical
Yeah,
weeb.
Yeah,
and
not-
it would be unful if they met Matthew to confirm those beliefs.
Yeah,
and then-
And
and
they
then-
could could meet me and they could see that it's not all.
And
How
then-
true.
and they
dare
could
you? You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say like if you want to change their minds, don't let them meet Matt.
But that's the thing where it's like I'd be interested to see like what things girls would toss out of like, oh my god, like like you mentioned, like guys who are into this or into that.
I
kind of
see
thing.
guys sometimes just on the anime thing, who's like I was walking through the library today and there's a couple people who their wallpaper on their laptop was like an anime girl with massive breasts, bro.
Let's go.
That has to be a red flag for girls on guys.
Oh, 100%.
100%
I don't-
for sure.
I don't know if there's ever been a girl who walks by that and goes, "I like that."
Yeah, what's going on there? I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to end us off here, I'll say the green flag
Sure.
that I was thinking of, and this is, I feel, really basic and something most people would want, but just anyone who doesn't have a desire to climb the ladder, so to speak.
Mm.
Like anyone who's, and I know I'm saying I think most people want this, but there are many people who I've met who are okay where they are in their life, and it seems as though they have no aspiration for like to have more
For
kind of thing.
domination and like they're kind of like free spirited.
Domination?
I'm saying like they don't
How
have.
are you saying?
No, I'm saying like they don't have an aspiration to like dominate other people and be like kind of climb over other people.
I
and-
see.
It's not
and
that
be
they
like-
have a lack of ambition.
Yeah.
It's just that they don't necessarily like.
Like they're okay with life as it is.
Yes.
Whereas
they don't need to like be the boss and like
Yeah.
you know ladder climb and
So
you know.
would you say that someone who's like has like a really, you know, intense competitive fire within them and who wants to kind of like beat out everybody else is not something that you're into with a partner? Like someone who has that kind of energy about them.
I want to be with someone who wants to climb the ladder, so to speak.
Wait, dude.
You're saying
Patrick, but
you're
just-
into this.
Patrick,
Yes.
just so you know,
Oh.
everyone who's been listening, including us, have thought you were talking about that as a negative.
But I said
Yeah.
this is a green flag.
You
No,
did,
like-
but
but
the
then
way
you said-
you then went on to phrase it
No,
of
no,
like
no.
ladder climbing. Or
No, but
whatever.
not even that.
I
Patrick,
understood.
Patrick, you said a green flag.
Malcolm understood me, by the way.
I know, but what you literally said is a green flag. Someone who doesn't
Have ambition.
have a ladder climbing mentality. You said someone who doesn't is a green flag.
No. I said this is a green. Okay.
That's what you said.
We
That's all
don't
I'm
need to
saying.
go
We've
back.
been confused here, but
That's
what you're
okay.
saying
The
is
point-
you are.
What's important is we're not confused now.
You want somebody who has that
yes,
ambition.
I want someone who has that ambition. I want to grow with somebody.
Sure.
And
I thought you were just the whole time I was like agreeing. I was like, yeah, honestly, I do like someone who's more like laid back and content with their lives
Yeah.
and they're happy and free spirited as opposed to someone who like wants to like crush their enemies and like kind of climb the ladder.
But I'm not even. You're thinking of it in a different way. Like I was not. Like if you
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
say that, I would have not phrased it that way.
I understand,
To
but
me, it's
I thought that's how you were trying to paint it
Yeah,
at first.
yeah.
Of like someone who's like too much with the competitiveness as well.
yeah. And I'm not even thinking about competitiveness. I'm just thinking like someone who, for themselves, they want to
Thrive.
thrive. Exactly. Thank you. I was looking for a good word to use there. Yeah. So like thrive. So
And-
someone I can thrive with. Kind
And
of thing.
I understand that because to me that would also symbolize or signify someone that really cares about themselves and their future,
Yeah.
and that's someone you'd want to be with. You don't want to be with someone who like doesn't give a shit what they're doing in their life, and it's just kind of like
Yeah, but I want to make a really clear delineation between
Sure.
someone who wants to quote unquote thrive versus
Yep.
someone who's in their life and they're okay with how their life is, and they might have good reason. Like this particular person could be, I don't know, the top 1% of people who, like their family is super rich or something, so they're okay. But like there are people who are like maybe in the middle class who are okay, where that might not be the same sort of mindset kind of thing, if that makes sense. That doesn't make sense, what I just said?
not really following, to be honest.
Okay, so I said people who are okay where they are. And what I was trying to say was you need to take that within the context. So I'm not saying people who are okay where they are,
A red
that's
flag.
a red flag,
Mm.
because someone could be okay where they are and they're in a really good place.
Oh, fair enough.
Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So let's just stop fucking talking about this.
If you ain't, I get it. If you ain't booting, you ain't scooting.
I don't know what that means. What?
I wanted to think of some random fucking bullshit to spew, but I couldn't think of anything. I'm not really good on my feet, to be honest. Matty, you know what? Just take us away.
I'd like to take us down a lighthearted route for my topic today and just play a bit of a fun hypothetical game with you
I don't
guys.
permit this.
Okay, well then let's talk about something serious and depressing. Here's what I'd like to talk about to you guys today. Let's say, and I've thought about this, the four of us are presented with a scenario
Oh no.
where we all suddenly swap bodies.
Ooh.
Wow.
Who would we
For a
pick and
week.
why? Is that the topic?
I already kind of thought about how I think the swap would work.
Okay.
Like in terms of the logistics, it's a question of then like what happens afterwards. That's what I want to get into. So here's what I'm thinking. Mark and Patrick can't swap because you're both Egyptian and come from the same like familial background and like culture and all that. So
So?
it's two similar
Yeah, but our
lives to switch into. And for Malcolm and me, it's a slightly similar thing. So right off the bat, Malcolm and I can't swap, and you two can't
You and
swap.
Wait, wait,
Malcolm
wait.
is a similar
I don't understand.
thing?
Are you talking about like heritage?
Like culturally, yes, Malcolm and I have like similar like.
He's half South American.
Okay, that's
I
the
think.
one
Are you talking
delineating
about like
thing.
home life?
Sure. Also that where it's like there's more similarities between Malcolm and me and you two than there are between like us the other way, which is why when I started thinking about this, I was like, okay, well, it wouldn't be as interesting if we swapped. So here's what I'm thinking.
So just 2 choices then for each of us.
I'm thinking in my head in the scenario I'm proposing to you guys, I have swapped bodies with you, Patrick.
Okay.
And Mark and Malcolm have swapped bodies.
Okay.
And this is the setup. And we get to be like this for a week.
Why does Mark get to be the lady killer?
Well, I also figured I would go into your body because I would get to be tall and good looking for a little bit.
Oh, Matty.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
flatter me here.
So I figured that would be nice too. So what I want to get into with you guys is this scenario is presented to us. We have a week in the other person's bodies.
Can I cut you off there for
What do
1
we
second?
do?
Sorry.
Yes.
I feel like I indirectly insulted you there. I wasn't trying to insult you. I was just more
What do you
so
mean?
trying to highlight Malcolm's attractiveness.
Why Mark
Because
got put
like
into the sexy
yeah,
body?
yeah. I wasn't trying to say like, oh, why am I getting you? Why don't I get?
No, that's okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
understand what you're saying.
Okay.
So yes, this is my thing of what happens.
Do you?
What
Because
do
I
we
feel
do?
like I insulted you.
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay,
You're
good.
good. You're
I
good.
didn't feel like you insulted him either.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I felt bad there for a
I
second.
still,
Okay,
I still
continue.
love you.
Good.
So my question is, what do we do for this week? What do you want to do in the other person's body for a week? Do you try and make stuff as like, what the hell was that?
I just spat water up everywhere.
What
Dude.
the fuck happened?
That's exactly what I think of when I see the word spit take. That it just came out of your mouth so perfectly.
What made you do that? What happened? I missed something.
I think he just in his head thought of the possibilities of what I would do versus what he would do.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
you said you have control of your bodies. What would you do? And I'm so evil for thinking this, but you're like, I'm just thinking about like the interactions with the people in your life that I could
Yes.
be having. I could like fuck shit up.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
where it's
ruined
like,
their relationships.
that's what I'm saying. Where it's like, what do we do? Because like it's only a week, and we know this going in. So do we
I could
like?
ruin your life.
But I'm saying, do we sit down and agree? Like, listen, we're all gonna like just everybody just try and like stay the course. Nobody do anything weird. Like
Yeah.
everybody
what's
try
the-
and keep it together.
What's the premise? Is the premise here that that's what we're doing? We're actually having a conversation, or are you just ask? I think what's more interesting to me is if you're asking us like, what would you do if you didn't have a conversation with the other person? Like, if I swapped with Malcolm, like, what would I naturally just want to do as Malcolm? Is what I'm saying.
Sure. Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. Is like in my head, it's like the four of us switch bodies. I'm in Patrick. Patrick's in me. Mark and Malcolm switch. There's got to be a better way to phrase that.
That's the
Wait,
clip right there.
Patrick's in you and you're in him at the same time.
Wow, that's
I'm
impressive.
in you,
How's that
you're in
work?
me.
But
We're
like,
having
and
a good
then
time.
so Mark and Malcolm switch, and my thing is like, we all wake up on let's say a Sunday and know that we have until next Sunday until this goes back. So
Like
we all,
Saturday, 11:59.
So we all wake up in the other person's house, kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, what do we do as a group about this? Like, do we get together? Do we try and come up with a plan? Do we say like, listen, you know, you need to like attend my job or attend my classes and like, you know, don't do anything weird or out of the ordinary. And then like, I also am asking you guys, like, do you fuck with the other person? Like, do you go around to like friends and family and like screw with them or like try and get them in trouble and whatever?
Like I said, the most interesting question to me is like, what would I want to do with this person's? Like, what would I want to do as this person?
Well,
for
sure.
that
What are
week?
you gonna do in Malcolm's body?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, Malcolm's in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Although I would want to abuse his female opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably.
So
A
what
lot-
you're saying, the first step is you're saying you're gonna
Cut off my relationship.
not cut off Bella. No, it sounds
Oh.
like he's not
no.
cutting off
What
Bella.
Mark
No,
has
here's
to
what I'm
do
gonna
is he has
do.
to sit Bella down and be like, listen,
No.
I'm Mark right now.
Oh,
I'm
I
not
see.
Malcolm.
Dude, she's not gonna believe that. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go around hooking up with random.
So right, bro. Why would you
let me tell
believe
you.
that?
Let me tell you.
I'm Mark.
Dude, I'm gonna I'm gonna hook up with a bunch of random people that I'm attracted to, and not tell.
He's gonna catch you.
No. I'm not gonna tell Bella. She's not gonna find out.
She
and
knows,
then,
she knows everything. She
Dude.
knows everything I do.
yeah, dude. Oh, I don't know. What really? Okay.
She knows everything I do.
Oh, well, that's
Is that
gonna be-
better or worse though? Because what I'm saying is I feel like Mark could go to Malcolm's girlfriend and be like, listen, I'm Mark. I'm going to like try and prove this to you. And then, you know, Malcolm shows up in Mark's body and is like, yes, Bella, like let me corroborate this to
And then-
try and like prove it
Yep.
to you. And then Mark
Then
goes,
she goes
like,
insane.
But then Mark goes like, listen, it's me and Malcolm's body right now. It's not really Malcolm, but I want to take Malcolm's body for a test drive. So I'm going to go out and like have sex with all these other women.
Yep.
But just understand, Bella, it's not Malcolm doing this. Malcolm is right now in my body.
Yeah.
So in the meantime,
Not
you get
doing
him, and I'll go away.
So, and that's the other thing. Does
Oh my
Bella get
God.
Mark's body?
Wait. Yeah. Does Bella would she be even open to having sex with my body?
That'd be such a funny thing too for me and Patrick, because it's like we'd have to go to Varsh and I'd have to be in your body, Patrick, and be like, listen, Varsh, it's me, and like I could prove this. And let's say it gets to the point where she believes it, then I have to be like, okay, well it's Patrick's body though, so what's the deal?
You know, you could be like imagine like Patrick, like your brain in Patrick's body, and then he's like, man, I'm really in the mood, Varsha. Like, we got to do something about this. And then he's like, if you want to close your eyes, you could. Or if you're fine with it, it is what it is.
Because then that's the thing, too, where it's like in a week when this all reverts back.
Yeah.
Oh, what an uncomfortable situation.
Then for the rest of the time, like, you know, the girlfriends are going to be looking at the other person just constantly being like, it feels like I kind of just, you know, did that with you, which is a whole awkward can of worms.
Yeah, that could be a whole philosophical conversation. Because it's like, you were saying that with Bella and Mark, right? But I don't think, even if you got to a place where you convinced Bella that it was Mark and Malcolm's body, she'll still say, but it's Malcolm's body. Like, that's still going to be like cheating. Once Malcolm's back in his own body, the body count is still increased.
Honestly, here's what I'll say.
That's a whole...
Here's what I'm gonna
Yeah, he has an STD.
That's a whole philosophical thing that I don't know if I buy, but
here's what
I
I'm gonna
get
say.
what you're saying.
If we're going to... The first part of your premise was like, would we talk about it, and like what would the realistic plan be? To me, it's like if we were doing it realistically, it would be kind of boring. We would just like try to not make any trouble, go to what our classes and go to work, basic stuff like that. But to me, it's more interesting of like what in your wildest dreams would you want to do? Like Patrick, as in Matty's body, what would be something that you really want to try, even if it's not responsible? For example, it could be responsible, but like what do you want to do as Matty?
I wish you didn't pick me because I'm actually still thinking about
Okay,
it.
Immediately, when I'm Patrick and I wake up that Sunday morning, immediately I rush to the bathroom and check out your dick. Immediately, because I'm like, I just want to see what's going on down here.
Honestly, I guess that would be something that we should all do, is like kind of
Check out each other's,
check what you're working with.
check out each other's dicks.
Get a lay of the land.
Yeah.
See what you're working with. Are you
Feel
guys only
yourself
thinking
up.
about sex right now? What's going on here?
What else are we gonna do?
I was thinking. I don't know why. I was thinking I'm gonna go to the outlets and I'm just gonna wreak havoc.
Oh my God!
I'm
What
just
does
gonna
that
make a
mean?
mess of whatever's going on in the outlets.
You can do
Oh,
that.
Jesus.
You can do that.
Yeah, you can do that as
yourself.
you.
I know, but I'd rather do it as you because you work there. You have a job.
But also
I'm
that
gonna
way
go
in
to
a week
Echo. I'm
when
gonna
Malcolm
pretend I'm
wakes-
working there. I'm gonna be rude to everybody.
But in a
You're
week,
gonna be fired.
oh, that's true. Yeah, Malcolm just gets Mark fired.
Honestly, I'm gonna ruin his relationship, so it's a fair trade.
But even in the mundane example, what you're saying, Mark, where it's like if we all tried to plan it out, even in that, I think there's room for shenanigans because we'd have to sit each other down and be like, listen, like, you know, Malcolm has like classes that need to be attended to. Patrick's got like his lab stuff that he's working on that needs to be attended to. You've got your job. Like Patrick and I swapping. The one nice thing about that is we both work as lifeguards and stuff. That area of our lives wouldn't be that affected. But I guarantee you,
Matty in
like,
the lab.
I'd be like at the lab, I would have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. And Patrick's partners are like, "Hey man, like, what are you doing?" And I'm like standing there with like this equipment. I'm like, I don't fucking know what to do. But I also feel like
You better not kill my zebra.
but in Patrick's thing, what would screw me up is because Patrick, and this is what I'm saying about the cultural thing earlier, where it's like because Patrick and I come from these different cultural backgrounds, I would for sure. Like how you guys have like the fast thing going on right now, I would for sure be walking through Patrick's
Burgers.
kitchen and like pull out like a steak or something and start chowing down. And Patrick's parents be like, "What are you doing? Like
Yeah.
it's the fast." I'd be like, "I didn't know. It's not me. It's Matt."
Question I have is where would we be staying?
At the person's house.
I think you have to
Would we
stay
still
at
be-
their
We wouldn't be
house,
able to
right?
convince. Okay,
Because how do you go to the
we
how do
need-
you go to our parents and be like, "Listen, Patrick's parents."
Well, like you
The
said,
only way for this to work is that it has to be off the table that we can convince anyone of this. Like you.
I don't think it's impossible to convince anyone, but I think it's gonna be tough as shit.
but like you said, like you can have, I can bring Malcolm, I have myself with Malcolm's brain and Malcolm with my brain in my house,
Yeah.
and then like
So one of them could just
Talk
speak
to-
Arabic, the other one could.
sure,
just,
yeah, or like talk
Sure.
about stuff that only I would know, and then
Yeah.
they're like, oh well, this looks like Malcolm, but he's saying things that only Mark would know.
We should
So,
take
like,
that off the table. Like we shouldn't
Okay.
have that.
Sure,
as
but even if we could bring it on the table,
Yeah.
I think again, convincing maybe for you guys, like in that sense, convincing your parents is easier. Whereas I
It's
think
more
I might have a slightly harder time.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like, where, in terms of where do we go, like to Malcolm's point, like if I'm you, Patrick, I'm sleeping at your house.
Yeah, if
Oh,
I'm you,
yeah,
I'm sitting
dude.
at your house.
Because
Yeah.
there's no way I'm going to my house as you,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, hey, mom and dad, it's me, your son,
Dude.
Matt. I'm sleeping here.
You know what I do as Malcolm, and it's not even a Malcolm specific thing. I would just like eat like an absolute piece of shit for like a week or whatever.
Oh, for sure.
Like eat like garbage because I know that I'm not gonna have any consequences once I go back to my body, unless you're also eating like shit, Malcolm, in my body.
You know what would interest me is if drinking beer in your body would make me understand why you like it. Like, would I be able to understand?
Dude, I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard this general topic that you're talking about. I've heard of like, what if you and Matty switched bodies? Would you all of a sudden be like, oh, what's that weird pain there? Oh, what's that feeling in his leg or whatever?
'cause
Like
I have his sensations,
chronic stuff
right?
that he deals with that's maybe like very minuscule, but your brain doesn't know how to deal with it.
Exactly. So it's like, would I be able to understand why you like beer, kind of thing?
Like you get my taste buds.
Yeah, of course you get his taste buds because it's his body.
Well, yeah, I get your taste
Yeah,
buds
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
And then my brain's just like, wait, why is beer good now?
But your preference. But at the same time, it's confusing to your brain because your brain preference is to not like certain things or whatever.
But then it's sending signals that
Yeah.
it's like good, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So it's weird.
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a whole can of worms. And the other
Oh my
thing-
god, I would also go to Sheridan and just sign as many autographs as I can as Helen. I'd make an episode as Helen.
The other thing too, though, that I thought about is like, so if I wake up in your house, or like, what do we do about the financial situation? Like, do we go like, do I go to Patrick when he's in my body and be like, give me my wallet so that throughout this week I can
Yeah.
continue using my money, or do I just wake up in Patrick's body and it's like immediately I'm spending?
Why is there $20 in his checking account?
Yeah, like, but like immediately I'm spending all of his money and like overbilling his credit
Can I-
cards on like shit that I want
Yeah.
immediately.
Wait, can I ask something? Malcolm, you laughed a minute ago. What were you laughing
I was
about?
thinking about what if I was in your body when you were going to Guelph to do that big presentation in front of a class on some topic. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I get there and I'm just
bomb it.
I bomb it. I'm blanking. I'm just
Why would you
honestly-
even go at that point? Like,
Wait, honestly-
you have full control to just not go.
No, but
just
honestly-
bitch
because
it.
it would be funny.
Honestly, here's the thing though. That like this lecture that I was supposed to give at the University of Guelph got canceled, but
Oh.
if I did give it, I would probably panic as well. So it's not big of a difference. Not much of a difference.
But that would be the thing specifically with you guys, because with Malcolm's classes and stuff, if it were a thing of Malcolm's like, listen, I've got like some group project or like a presentation or something, and it's like Mark, it's due, like, and it's my grade rides on this, like you have to do
Dude,
it.
honestly, you know what? I feel like I pride myself on the ability to like, I want to kill it in his life. Like I want to fucking like do really good in his course and his assignments and shit like that. I feel like I could do it.
Oh my god, that's such a like evil but also hilarious way of fucking with each other's lives too. Like if I was Patrick and I went out of my way to go like above and beyond,
Oh my
and be like,
God.
I'm gonna donate all this money to
Yeah.
charity and I'm gonna
And-
be so nice to everybody in my life.
Serving his family and stuff.
Exactly. And then like Patrick comes back into his own body and he's being like his, not like a bad person, but he's being like
Sure.
just his like normal self. And then everybody's like, what
Oh,
happened to
dude.
the fucking
Like,
guy
start-
who was like
yeah.
so nice the other week?
Yeah.
Like start as
Yeah.
in Patrick's body, start giving Patrick's mom like foot massages or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like every single day. And then when he switches back, she's like, "Why are you not doing that for me anymore?"
Literally, you're gonna be a better Patrick than
Yeah.
I am. a
Exactly.
Patrick.
Just to fuck with you so that when you go back into your own body,
Yeah.
you're like, you're now
You
seen
can't-
as worse.
You can't live
That's
up to
such
it
a fucked
anymore.
up
I'd also
way
be-
of ruining it.
I'd also
of,
be
like-
interested to
yeah.
know how Mark feels going to the gym and how he struggles to lift like certain weights and certain
What do you mean?
like what?
What do you mean?
That's so funny.
Wait, what do you? I don't understand what he's saying. What are you saying?
I'd just be interested to go to the gym in your body and like work out as you.
Oh, I see.
Just the way you phrased that made
Yeah, the
it
way you
sound like
phrased that
you were
was-
being like, yeah, I don't understand. I've never had trouble lifting
Yeah.
the weights, so I'd
No,
love to
no,
be in Mark's
no.
body and like feel what that's like.
I don't see. I've made progress. I can lift quite a bit, but
Oh my god, that's
Malcolm,
hilarious.
Yeah, the way you put that was like even Mark. Like
I'm not trying to
turned
say
his
like
head.
Mark's weak. That's not what I'm trying to
that's
say.
what it sounded like a little bit. It sounded like him being like, I mean, I can't wait to see how weak Mark is in the gym. It's gonna be so funny to struggle with half the weight that I'm doing.
That's what it sounded like, Malcolm. Oh my
No, I
God.
know that's not what he meant. but
Oh
No,
my
yeah.
god. But so I guess none of you really answered. Well, Mark kind of answered it too.
no one answered the question.
Mark kind of answered it, but Patrick, Malcolm, like when you wake up on that Sunday morning,
Yeah.
are you rushing to the bathroom immediately to check out what's going on down there?
It's not gonna be pressing for me.
But you're gonna find out at
I'm
some
gonna
point.
find out at
You're
some
gonna-
point,
over the
yeah.
week. You're gonna have to like take a piss.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. If I wake up on the Sunday and I have morning wood, like you have morning wood, but I have morning
You're
wood,
gonna feel it.
I'm gonna feel it. Then I'm gonna like investigate. You know what I
Sure.
mean? But If it's like one of those things where I wake up on the Sunday and it's just like deflated, yeah.
I just imagine you waking up in Matty's body, and then like he has morning wood.
Yeah.
And then
He has morning wood. That's so trippy.
Yeah, I know,
like,
I know.
You're
I
the
have
one with
yeah,
morning
yeah.
I'm the one
wood.
with morning
Your
wood.
brain has triggered it.
You're in his body, and you're getting morning wood in his body.
Yeah.
And then you feel it against your leg or whatever, and you just like tap on it, and you're like, not bad. Not bad. Good on ya.
There's something I want to say that I can't say. I can't say into the
Perfect.
microphone. So
Cut it. Cut it.
no,
Go ahead.
we can't. We're not gonna
It's
cut. I'm
okay.
not
Thank
saying
God
it.
podcasts are only about saying things.
Honestly, I'm glad that you brought that up and then went nowhere with it. And then I think the people listening are gonna like that part.
Yeah, that's you know what. Just leave them. Keep wanting
Yeah,
more.
keep them wanting more and
um,
more. Come on, that's basic marketing.
But what was I gonna say? Well, we can segue out of this. We don't have to spend too much more time on this. But it was just a fun thing that I thought of as just like a goofy throwaway topic of like us getting thrown into each other's lives and like how we have to balance that. And
I would.
I'd walk around shirtless a lot with Malcolm.
Oh, okay.
I'd just go in the public and like walk around shirtless.
In the public, I would. I'm trying to find the right word. Cling to for the week that I'm you, I would just enjoy.
Dude,
that I
shave
have
his beard.
facial hair.
Shave his beard.
No, but I want a
Oh,
beard,
that's
bro.
such a terrible
That's
thing.
what I was gonna say. Is like he comes
Oh
back.
yeah, on Saturday night I shaved the
What
beard.
an asshole.
He comes back. He has no eyebrows, no hair, no beard.
what an asshole.
Dude, honestly, we should all.
Just fucking baby.
Buzz
Yeah,
his head.
we should all prank each other like that. Like not tell each other, and everyone does weird shit.
Well, I was gonna say like I wouldn't want to do anything that would like ruin Patrick's life, but for sure I would be posting some sort of social media thing like right before the week ended of me, not like anything horrible of like going off on some like horrible tangent or like anything that would like actually get him in trouble. But
Racial
I feel
slurs
like,
and stuff.
yeah, but I feel like for sure I would do something like social media wise in Patrick's body, whether it was me like trying to sing. Or like if I
Like,
was
seriously,
like
yeah.
trying to seriously sing, or if I was like going off and just be like, "Hey guys, like I'm Patrick and I'm a furry" or something like something that,
Right.
something that doesn't necessarily like get him in trouble, but just like that broad, like just to embarrass him.
Or
So that as soon as he wakes up that Sunday morning, it's like, why am I getting all these texts
Yeah.
from people being
You're
like,
a furry?
"You're
Yeah.
a furry"?
Dude,
now?"
I want Malcolm to wake up Sunday morning and he like looks in the mirror and he has a face tat.
That's a good one.
He has a
Tattoos is a good one.
Yeah.
You just get like some like mother written across
Yeah.
like Malcolm's chest or something.
Or like Mark was here and like a
Yeah.
but in a
Mark was
but in a place that's like not. I don't want to ruin his life, so maybe
Exactly.
it's like a tiny tramp stamp or like
Right.
right in his lower back or whatever.
That's a great tramp
Tramp
stamp.
stamp.
Mark was here. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Oh my god.
Yep.
But
I like that.
yeah, swapping bodies.
Yeah.
Freaky Friday shit.
Freaky Friday shit.
What if? Hold on, just before.
No.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Please go. I was about to end it, but he had something.
because
to
you
say.
guys said the thing about like seeing like what we're working with down there, kind of thing.
Right.
Would like let's just say
You're saying
I
would
was-
you would you masturbate?
No, let's just say like
Oh wow, I didn't even
That's
think
kind of
about
disturbing
that.
to think about. I don't
the
wanna
the
think
thing
about
the thing is no I'm not saying masturbate. I'm saying once we switch, like you
Mhm.
know how your body's size is,
Mhm.
and then you're gonna see my size. So it's
Mhm.
like
And then you-
what's gonna go on like if you see that like mine is bigger, for example, or
I mean, I'm definitely gonna compare yours so that when I get back, or like measure yours so that when I get back in my body, I can like compare the two and take.
you
notes
don't
and
already
stuff.
know.
What?
You don't already know?
Me?
Like you can't just see mine and then know what yours is?
I guess that's true. Yeah, like I could probably tell visually, unless it's like
I don't-
a little closer.
I don't think any of us will be able to tell visually unless one of us is like secretly hiding a 12-incher.
I
Like
think
I don't think
you'd
anyone's
be able
gonna-
to tell. Like usually, I know how mine looks like.
Yeah,
in
hold-
my
You can
hands.
just measure. Oh, okay, I don't think you guys are understanding what I'm
You're
saying.
saying like measure it before and after, but to me it's
Yeah.
like I haven't personally measured in a very long time, so
Okay.
I don't even remember what my measurement is. So if I switched into Malcolm and I measured, I'd be like, okay, well, that doesn't mean much to me. Like visually, I feel like
really?
yeah, like
You have no ballpark.
I have a ballpark that I'm not going to divulge.
What I'm trying,
I'm a gentleman here.
but what I'm trying to get at, Patrick, to your question of like, does that change anything? Is
9 inches.
it definitely?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's just a random number I just picked.
9 inches, ladies.
It only changes things in the sense of like, if I somehow swapped into your body and immediately went and looked at your like dick,
Yeah.
and it was huge.
But
Like you
imagine-
were way bigger than me, and it would definitely be something I never addressed again. and like
You'd be
didn't
like,
want to bring up.
dude, you'd be
The
like,
thing is,
right,
if it was the opposite and I was like,
oh
I had
my,
a
you
micro
feel so
penis,
bad, yeah.
But that's the other thing. If it
You,
was
you
the-
also wouldn't bring it up, but you would
no.
see me.
If it
You'd see him in person, like you'd look at each other for the first time, and you'd see shame in his eyes.
exactly. If it was the opposite, and I went and like checked you out, and you were like significantly smaller,
Yeah.
immediately I bring it up and hold it over your head.
No, but
like,
if it
for
was
the rest of your life.
there's a difference between me being like significantly smaller, but me having a micro penis.
Yeah, dude, it's like
You wouldn't be able to like bring that up,
When you-
right?
once you-
I think I could.
dude. Once you switched back, and you were having like a disagreement with Patrick, and you're like, "Well, you have a little dick." And you're like,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I would just bring
Use
it
it
up
as
for
ammunition.
forever.
no, but
Just,
honestly,
like-
I don't believe you. I don't think you would hold it over Patrick's head if he legitimately had a micro penis condition. I think
That's
if
what
you-
I'm saying,
I think
bro.
if you-
It's a condition.
Bro, I think if you were smaller than average, you might like throw a joke in here or there.
Yeah.
But if it's like you're something you're very ashamed about,
Yeah.
come on, Matty, have more class than
I
that.
guess it's just it'd be so funny.
It would be it would be pretty funny. That's right.
For sure, I want to use Patrick's money when I'm in his body to like send get well cards to like everybody in his life that don't make any sense, or like just something like that to screw with people.
I
Anyways,
thought you were gonna say to like buy sex workers or
oh Jesus, okay, maybe that too. Steer us away, Mark, please.
Yeah, I'd order a bunch of sex toys as Patrick, and then have
Okay.
them all show up to the house.
That's actually gold.
imagine. How are we back on this topic? Why do you do this?
That's
Imagine
actually great.
buying like have you ever heard of this was a whole controversy, but people who buy sex dolls that look like actually I can't say
Oh
I
my
can't
God,
say I can't do
Jesus,
it.
Mark,
Mark,
steer
rescue
us away.
Mark, rescue us.
I'll try. My topic is like
Sex workers.
my topic is switching bodies. Yeah, so my topic is something that's kind of it's pretty lighthearted, and I think that it's one of those like general topics like sports, like we did, or food.
Mm.
But to me, my topic is shopping.
Mm.
That is my topic. Now, here's what I'm gonna say. When I think about shopping, I get excited. I love shopping. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
So to me,
Malcolm was so excited about it.
yeah. Like when I think about shopping, I get excited. I love shopping. I love going out and doing the whole thing. But recently, I realized that I think I like the idea of shopping more than I actually like shopping, because I'll be like, oh, we're gonna go to Square One or whatever and get a bunch of clothes and like get maybe a pair of shoes. Like I'm gonna have a fun day and get stuff for myself and like treat myself type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then recently I did that, and I realized that as soon as I get there, I want to like go home. I'm like, when are we gonna go home?
You
now?
weren't with us though for this recent time.
No, I'm saying like I went with my mom,
Yeah.
and maybe that's why. I think if it's like a friend hangout, it's more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
But even with friends, like I'll go to the one or two stores that I know I frequent, and then after that I'll be like, I want to go home. I don't really like this that much.
But the thing is, like, there was this one time we went, and this was the most recent time I can think of,
Okay.
where we hit Simon's and we hit Zara, and everything was so cheap that we just bought a shit ton of clothes.
That was fun, yeah.
That was fun. So when we actually buy
Fair enough.
like a good amount of clothes, it's fun because we're actually trying stuff, and it's
Yeah.
not like we're going and it's like everything's out of our price range and
Sure.
we're just not getting anything.
I
That's
think-
when it's like,
I think that the vibe, the group has to be right. The vibe has to be right. That's fair.
yeah.
But honestly, I want to throw out one story before you guys talk about your opinions on shopping in general.
Okay.
Because to me, like I said, the idea of it, love it. Execution, it varies. But I went to Uniqlo. Have you guys heard of Uniqlo before?
Mm.
Solid.
It's kind of like an H&M, but I don't know if it's like Chinese or Japanese
I
or
think
something.
it's Japanese.
I think that might be right, yeah. They have really nice clothing there. It's like good quality, clean styles, basic styles. And the shirt that I'm wearing right now actually is from there. It's like a Keith Haring style.
Mm.
But when I went to go cash out, my mind was blown, dude. I went to go cash out, and there was like this machine, and it's like a self-checkout thing. And there was actually like only one cashier, and then the rest of them were all self-checkouts. And I was like, oh, that's interesting for like a clothing store. So I go up, and it says like click start. I click start. I'm holding a pair of pants, a pair of jeans, and 2 t-shirts in my left arm. They're like draped on my arm. And then on the machine it says put your items in the cart now. And before I put them in the cart, they start showing up. Jeans, graphic t-shirt with the exact prices. I didn't even put them down yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fucking I was like, how the fuck did they know? Dude, there's like I didn't beep scan anything. I didn't throw the things into the bin yet. I was like holding them, and I was like, place now. And then it just started popping up like light blue jeans, Keith Haring shirt, like whatever. And I was like, well, that's so crazy.
Crazy, yeah.
Anyway, that's just, I think it's advancing very rapidly, and it's very cool, like the whole shopping experience.
Oh,
But anyway, so what do you guys think about shopping in general, Malcolm?
I personally, I still find shopping very enjoyable usually regardless of who I'm with. When I'm with my parents, I still have a really good time shopping because we always usually go out and get food, and we all love food, so we all enjoy it.
You make a day of it.
And they buy stuff for me, which is even better. With you guys, I love it as well. I love, like, we make a whole plan out of it. I'm like, we're gonna get some clothes, we're gonna get some food, real good.
Cheesecake.
We haven't done that in a while though. Have
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
We gotta go to Yorkdale.
Oh yeah.
Yorkdale. Okay, I was just talking about stuff in our price range. What's going on?
No, I'm just thinking about the Chick-fil-A and the.
Oh my god! And Cheesecake Factory.
That's right.
Oh, Adam's
Isn't
fudge
Square
ripple.
One
Yeah.
getting a Chick-fil-A or
Square
something?
One is
Yeah,
getting
it
a
is,
Chick-fil-A.
yeah.
Yep.
Dude, I had a coworker talk about we have an Echo store. I work at Echo. We have an Echo store at Square One,
Mm-hmm.
and my assistant manager was like filling in there for a day, and there was a guy who works there, and we're probably gonna have to cut this out now that I'm thinking about it. But basically, he's like this gay dude who works there,
Okay.
and she said he's like a really sweet guy, but he was kind of talking about how he's against the opening of Chick-fil-A there because of the history they've had with like not supporting gay rights stuff and like being like homophobic apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was talking about it, and she was like, honestly, like, I don't get it. Like, he should just keep his words to himself. Like, it's she's like, I was like, I mean, I get his worrying, but anyway, I prefer to cut that out there.
But I've had new shopping experiences lately since I have a girlfriend.
Mm.
And sometimes they can be fun. Sometimes they can be very exhausting. Like, for example, like
Now
sometimes
be careful.
she'll say,
Be careful what you say now.
Uh-oh.
sometimes she'll say like, oh, let's go out and do a shopping day. But shopping day, it doesn't usually mean like I get to look for myself. It means she takes so long to look at everything in every single store, and I'm just there holding stuff.
Oh my god.
And
that
then
sounds terrible.
And then I'm just waiting. Like, on last week we went shopping. We actually went thrift shopping last week, and I got the sweater there for $5.
I like that.
Oh.
$5. I like that
$5,
sweater.
Yeah. And actually, if you go there and you donate some clothes, they'll give you a 50% off card.
Cool.
If you
Yeah.
donate
Card.
some
So every
crap.
time you go.
A card.
Dude, you honestly, you could donate the shit. You can donate shit. You can donate crap, and you'll get a 50% off.
Honestly, it's
coupon.
true.
Donate
We
some
donated
crap.
Isabel's old clothes. There was like underwear in there, so I mean,
Mm.
they took it.
Oh
They
my
didn't. They didn't
goodness.
look. They just gave me the card.
Are you saying it was shit stained
No,
underwear?
no, I did
Oh
not
my
say
God.
that.
We donated underwear that was covered in poop, and they
We
took it right
donated
away.
Recently used. Here's the thing with shopping, if I may jump in. With very rare exception, like if I'm going myself one day, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go to the comic book store here in town and like, see what's up and maybe like pick something up or whatever. That I enjoy.
That's targeted.
That's targeted. But just shopping generally, I have absolutely no time for. And Malcolm even saying, like, when him and his girlfriend are like, oh, let's have a shopping day. Malcolm saying that, like, I
Got chills.
recoiled like viscerally from that, because it's
Honestly-
like I don't mind the couple, like, every once in a while when like the four of us will, like, let's say go to Square One or something. It's like, oh, we're just gonna go walk around the mall. Usually, like, we're gonna grab lunch. That's honestly, getting lunch to me is like
The most fun part.
that's the biggest draw, because the rest of the experience of just La Carnita at Square One, the tacos there, just
Shout out.
chef's kiss. We gotta go again sometime. I've been craving them.
Mm.
But the entire thing, like the just mall aspect of like, we're gonna walk around, we're gonna go in and out of stores, we're gonna look at clothes,
Yeah.
we're gonna try stuff on. Now, part of that I think is that, to what you said, Mark, about targeted shopping. I
Yes.
feel like in a way that is more targeted to you guys, because you guys are more into like clothes and shoes and that kind of
Yes,
stuff
but-
than I am.
But to me, it's like, sorry to interrupt, but to me, it's also like I have like maybe 3 stores that I have to go into, and like I'll go into Zara, I'll go into H&M, I'll go into like Foot Locker, I'll go to like a couple that I always target, and that's what I'll do, and that's enjoyable to me. But the dread comes when I used to like go shopping with my mom growing up, and she would go into like every single fucking clothing store,
Mm.
and I'd have to be like waiting outside on a chair.
Right.
Like that's where shopping to me becomes dreadful. But and also like the whole idea of browsing, like going to a mall, having
Oh my god.
dude, I work in a mall, and the amount of people that come in, like maybe 9 times out of 10, I'll ask someone like, "Oh, are you looking for anything in particular?" And they're like, "No, I'm just killing time." People have said that before. I'm like, "Who are you? Like
Everything-
this is your life, dude. Like you're just walking around."
Everything you're saying right now is again just making me like blood red mad. Where it's like, that's what I'm saying. Where it's like, and that's the thing with the mall. Where it's like, there definitely have been times where we're like, oh, we're just gonna go like check out a few stores and see what's up. And I'm always like, yeah, I'll come tag along. Again, I'm coming for lunch. But like just the general set of like, oh, we're just gonna go like walk around the mall and go in and out of like some of the clothes stores. Like,
But when we say that, we have targets.
there's some sort of plan, but it's like it still drives me a little nuts.
I don't think we've ever said we're just gonna go in and out. Like, I feel like what it was we're gonna get clothes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not
Exactly.
that
It's
I've
like-
never had the desire to just go in
Walk
and out
around.
of clothing stores and just to
Dude.
browse.
Bro,
Sure.
Matty, it would drive you crazy to work at the mall because I've seen people like literally zigzag. I see outside my front store window, and I see people zigzagging from True Religion, which is right on my diagonal left, to our store, then to Kulhan diagonal right, and they just zigzag into every single store with no purpose.
Oh my
Mhm.
Dude, I tell them like, what kind of shoes are you looking for? They're like, oh, nothing in particular. Like I'm just looking around. And oftentimes, like it'll be like an older dude, and I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm just killing time, and I'm like, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
You know,
If he's
earlier.
an older dude, he doesn't have time to kill. Anyways, go on.
Oh my God.
He's, I should be like, honestly, you ain't got much time left, so maybe don't.
Yeah, your time's running out, pal. You know, earlier, Patrick, when we were saying how Mark had brought up like a red flag for him is people without any sort of like hobbies or passions or
Yeah.
whatever, and then you were like, well, everybody's got they must have something.
Yeah.
These are the kind of people that have nothing.
Absolutely
That
nothing.
that come to a mall and it's
Absolutely.
like, oh, what are you doing at the mall? It's like, I don't know, I'm just killing a Saturday. It's like you
can I
can't
ask-
sit around
I'm
and
yeah.
read.
killing a
It's like you
Saturday.
can't
Bro.
sit around and read a book or like
Yeah.
watch
Let me-
TV for a few hours or something. You have to fucking go to the mall
Let me
and look at shoes.
and just
Yeah, dude.
walk around.
dude,
Yeah.
those sort of people, they make me terrified of being in that place in my life.
Oh,
And I'm like,
no.
I'm gonna try my hardest to steer away from it. I have a question for you guys. I've had people in the store be like, I like this pair of shoes a lot,
Mm.
and they're really comfortable and they're great. And I'm like, I'm waiting for the but, and they're like, but I gotta ask my wife.
Mm.
I've heard this all the time.
Okay.
I want to ask you guys, when you go shopping, are you just gonna trust your own personal gut, or are you one of these people who are gonna like? And I'm not judging per se. I'm judging that guy for sure about the wife thing, but like,
Okay.
but like Patrick gave me a weird face.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, are you gonna try on stuff and be like, I really love this, I'm gonna buy it, or are you gonna be like, I really love this, but I'm gonna ask a couple of people just to make sure it's actually not goofy?
Now I'm gonna go ahead and answer for Matthew. He relies on his own taste almost always.
Which is why I, again, when I say I don't care about how I dress,
Yeah.
it's like that's
Yeah.
But
that's
but with me, I almost always have get opinions.
yeah.
Yeah,
and that's why I like shopping with other people.
I don't-
so I can get the opinion in real time.
But to me, I'm not judging that because I also do that.
Yeah.
But what I'm judging is this person who's like, I love everything about this shoe. It feels great. It looks great.
yeah.
But like, if my wife says no, I'm not getting it. It's like, what's going on?
That just sounds like a married man.
there? Yeah. The old ball and chain.
Not
Some guy.
Malcolm wants to jump in here.
Oh, do I?
Oh, you
Thanks.
you looked like you were.
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
Like, let me ask you: if you find something that you really like, and let's say Bella's like, I don't like the way that looks, are you buying it because you love it, or are you gonna be like, no, I'm not
If
buying
it's something I really, really, really like I'm not
You-
gonna
you-
listen to her. Like
Mm.
I
You
bought
said
some,
a lot of reelies there, so it has to be like
like
really,
if it's something
really.
if it's something I'm really sure about myself that
Yeah.
I know I like and I know I'm gonna wear all the time because
Yeah.
it's something I've wanted for like a long time, I'll get it no matter what.
it? Fair enough.
Okay.
But there's sometimes where I'm like iffy on like if something looks good and I think it looks good and like if she says it doesn't look good, I'm just gonna take her word for it because she
Yeah.
doesn't want me to look bad.
'Cause it's iffy. Like if it's iffy, then that makes sense because
Yeah.
like it could
You're
go
on-
either way,
yeah.
kind of thing.
But yeah, sometimes I do like something and she says no and that just makes me rethink it. But I'm glad she does that because I rethink it and then I go, this doesn't look good, and I'm
Mhm.
glad I'm not gonna waste my money on it.
See,
Mm.
I don't have that like self control built into me
Mm.
because like one of the last times we were at, I mean, this was probably like a year ago now, but one time when we were at the Toronto Premium Outlets and we went to that one store.
We like us.
Yeah, I think a handful of us were there. It might not
Okay.
have been all four of us, but when some combination of us were there,
You walked into my store, by the way, into the store.
for sure, yeah, at one point we walked in your store, but I think it might have just been Patrick and I, and
Mm.
that was the day that we walked into some store and I found my Playboy long sleeve
It was just
Oh,
you
yeah.
that I
and
got,
Where
which
was
for
that?
those wondering,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
forget what the store was though.
West
Was it, was, it,
49.
was it
Was it
called?
West
It
49?
was West 49.
It's either like West 49, Zoomies, or one of those like
It
skater.
was not Zoomies. It was West
It was
49.
yeah, maybe it was
Okay.
West 49, but for those wondering,
I shop at Zoomies.
the shirt it's a gray long sleeve, and on the front it says Playboy, and then it's got the little bunny, and then
Yeah.
on one sleeve it's got the bunny logo going all the way down it. The other sleeve's got Playboy going all the way down it, and then on the back, which is the best part, it's got written out, "Our mission is pleasure."
Dude, that's my favorite shirt I've ever heard of.
And
like,
it's-
that's actually my favorite.
It's such a like horrible shirt, but I love it, and I kind of bought it just because it was like terrible, and also I knew it would annoy my mom, which it definitely did.
It did, okay.
But that's the kind of thing where it's like if I was gonna buy that shirt now, and my girlfriend was like, "Do not buy that shirt. It's the dumbest shirt," I would still buy it anyways because I'm an idiot. But to Malcolm's point, he had mentioned earlier how like Bella will say to him like, "Oh, let's have a shopping day," and I like recoiled in fear at the sound of that.
Mm-hmm.
that's still the case. But actually, what I have found is that going with my lady friend shopping, I actually kind of enjoy it. We've only done it like 1 or 2 times, but I've enjoyed it more because when we're looking, normally the problem is if the 4 of us go into like a clothes place, like I couldn't even name you one, where like you guys are like looking at stuff. Victoria's Secret, where you guys frequently shop. When we go into one of those places and like you guys are like finding like, oh, these like corduroy pants or like a long sleeve or like a sweater, you know, so and so likes or whatever. It's like I'm always,
I like how you're making fun of like Patrick for looking for corduroy pants, like the way he says like corduroy pants or whatever.
well, I mean,
I thought he made me sound classy there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to take a shot, but if you were offended by it, then also good. But
No, I thought you painted me in a positive light there.
good,
Okay.
good, okay, good.
And he didn't even explicitly say me.
You didn't, but like I think you've been talking about corduroy pants a little bit.
Okay.
Anyways,
No, like you've been like you bought some like in the last couple of months.
I have a
or-
lot actually now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Go on.
Anyways, when it's with you guys, it's like we'll walk into a store like that, and you guys all see shit you like and start looking. And because I'm not like that necessarily like fashion conscious or like even just clothes conscious kind of thing, and I just wear fucking jeans and like t-shirts with logos and shit on them all the time.
I want our first video podcast, if we ever get there, for us all to be dressed up and you to be just
And
like,
me just in like
And,
bum
like-
fucking pajamas.
Like
or
he's
whatever.
fucking like Adam Sandler. He's wearing like basketball shorts. and a t-shirt.
Exactly. But with that, like that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't get anything out of that. But what I found is the couple times that her and I have gone shopping or like looked at stuff is she will do a similar thing where like one time her and I and a couple of her other friends were at like a Value Village or whatever, and she was like, oh, this long sleeve would like be really good on you, and it was like a nice ass long sleeve that I got, you know, for like $10 or whatever at the Value Village, and it's like one of my favorite long sleeves now. Like it's just this plain dark gray kind of long sleeve with like 2 or 3 buttons
You know what I
at the
think?
top, and it's like that was
Yeah.
so much fun, and I liked doing that with her because I liked her like
What was so much fun? You're talking about a 2-second moment.
what I'm saying
your
is
time.
I liked at least shopping with her because it was I had somebody there that
Yeah.
like was like kind of like finding clothes and stuff
Dude.
Yeah.
that I might like and that might look good on me, that normally if I was with you guys I might have seen that same long sleeve and
Yeah.
been like, I don't give
dude,
a fuck.
you know what's upsetting to me is that like I've never personally done this, but I know for a fact that if I went up to Matty and was like, this would be like these shoes would be really nice on you, he'd be like, eh, and then he wouldn't buy them.
Yes.
But if Varsha goes the exact same shoes like in a different scenario, he'd be like, oh, okay, I'll try them on. He'd look at them, he'd be like, those are pretty cool, and he'd buy them.
Also yes, but that's what I'm saying where it's like
you're too close-minded.
but it's not even so much
Oh,
like that's more
I want to get in on this now.
what?
What? Are you saying I'm close-minded?
Mark, you said that, and I have a scenario where it happened with you.
Okay,
the
go
exact
ahead.
same thing.
Okay, go ahead.
This
I
was
already know what
and
you're
the
gonna say.
the timing of this was crazy because I showed you a song called "Still Loving You" by the Scorpions, and it was a few days later that same song was showed to you by Tamara,
Okay.
and then you said and you were like whatever to me, this is exactly what happened. I showed it to you, and you're
Okay.
like, oh, that song was whatever, and then it was showed to you by Tamara. And you came up to me forgetting that I showed that song to you. And you're like, dude, check out the song
Yeah.
that's been in my heart, bro.
Okay, but you know what?
I haven't been able to get over that.
Let me defend myself. Let me defend myself.
Patrick's been sitting on
You
that.
came up to me as if you forgot it was a few days ago, and you were like, check out this song. I was like, what do you mean check out this song?
No, wait.
Yeah.
I don't. First of all, I don't even recall that. I don't recall any of that.
Of course you don't recall. That sticked in my mind way more than it would have
Fair
stuck
enough.
in your
Fair
mind.
enough.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, here's what it could have been. I can only
Yeah.
speculate.
Yeah,
It could have been.
speculate.
It could have been that like, I mean, you show me many songs. I show you many songs. I'll play a random song in my car radio or whatever.
Yeah.
And most of them you'll be like, oh, that was all right, but you won't necessarily like save it and look out for it and whatever.
Yes.
So you were probably playing it. And maybe I wasn't in the mood of listening, or I was thinking about something else, and I
Yeah.
just like it just kind of went by.
Maybe.
But then like when my my ex-girlfriend, when my girlfriend at the time
Yes.
was showing me a song, I was probably more attentive to it, just like with Matty.
Yes.
But yeah, no, that's fair. But honestly, to me, it's like when I listen to that song, and I actively listen to it, I loved it.
Yeah.
But I think it's just with you, I wasn't actively listening to it.
Yeah, that upsets me a little bit because it was a song that I was showing you. I was trying to
That's
show
fair
you.
enough. Honestly, I should try to be more equal with the way I do that. Yeah.
But again, I bring that point up, and I think it's fair to say that we're all susceptible to it in some
I'd say
way,
so.
shape, or form.
I'd say
Sure.
so.
Yeah, like Matty and you aren't like special cases by any
No,
stretch
no.
of the imagination.
Yeah. But I feel like I don't know. We should do that. Like we should like go out like shopping for specific items. Like if I want to be like I want to get pants today and Patrick wants to get a shirt today, whatever.
Yeah.
And we go out together and we like point stuff out to each other. Like I think we usually do that. But Matty
I don't know
usually
what Matty's saying.
Matty-
Like, I feel like
but Matty doesn't go
Yeah.
go shopping for specific stuff with us ever, really. Like it'll be just be
You
like
guys will do the thing like we mentioned earlier, where like Mark will be like, "Oh, like what do you guys think of this sweater on me?" And then we'll all like offer input. But what I'm saying is like we don't necessarily like you don't necessarily walk around like Patrick or Malcolm or me and like find a sweater and be like, "Oh, this would be good on Mark," and then like call Mark over and be like, "Hey, come check out this." It's more like one of us comes to the group with, "Hey, here's a thing I found. What do you think of it on me?" It's more that than it is like us going to somebody and being like, "Look what we found. We think this would look good on you."
I don't think
kind of thing.
I disagree. I've had many times where Patrick will pull out like a shirt and he'll be like, "Mark, what about this one?" And I'll be like, "Eh," or I'll be like, "Ooh, I really like that one," and I'll take it.
well, because sometimes we're at a store like H&M for example, and I know I'm not gonna buy anything, and Mark's looking around, and while he's looking around, I'm like brainstorming with him on what he
Yeah.
could possibly wear, kind of thing.
Mm-mm.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know,
So
I-
get fucked, Matty.
You know,
Wow.
honestly, I want to hear what you guys think about this because I have this weird thing that happens to me where I go shopping. I always try everything on. I'm not one of these people who return shit. That's another whole topic of people who often return shit. Like every day, my mom's always returning shit. Like every time I'm going out with her, she's like, "Okay, but I'm just gonna stop at Winners because I have to return something." And I'm like, "I would hate you if I was working there." But like, yeah. So I don't return anything. I always try it on in the store, and oftentimes I'll try something on and it fits perfect and I love it the way it looks and I'm like, perfect. This is what I want. And then I go home and try it on at home and I'm like, this doesn't look as good at home. I don't know why. Like for some reason. Maybe it's because the excitement,
The
like
vibes.
something changes where most of the shit that I got, like for example, I went on a trip back home to Egypt, but we stopped at Turkey coming back to Canada, and we stayed there for like a couple days and we did shopping and I bought a bunch of shit that I really like, and now like I don't wear 90% of it. I'm like, this is gross. I don't like this. It looks bad and it doesn't
Yeah.
fit good and it feels weird. Like I don't know. Have you guys ever had this like this shift from like loving something that you bought shopping wise, and then later you just changed your tune on it?
Mm-hmm. I bought 2 sweaters from Polo once, 2 crew necks, and
Did Bella?
this was a long
Oh,
this was
okay,
a long
okay.
time ago.
I was gonna say maybe the suggestion of someone else was like, oh, maybe this would work, and then you
No,
know.
it was a long time ago. I bought two sweaters, exact same but
Yep.
different colors. I got home, I tried it on, and I go, what was I thinking? I'm like, this is so bad. One of them
Yeah.
fit like a little better. It was a size higher, so there was a little baggy on me. I still have the gray one. I don't know if any of you know what it is. Just says Polo on it. But
Mhm.
the black one it was gigantic on me, and for some reason in the store I was like, it fits perfectly. And I get home, I put it on, and I'm like, this doesn't fit.
It's perfectly.
I
How
don't
do
know
you
about
get
like
it so wrong?
And I've never had this experience. I'll clarify that I've never had this experience with shoes. Every time I buy a pair of shoes that I really like, I'll go home and be like, yeah, these still look good. But for some reason with like shirts especially, I don't know if it's because of like the mirrors that I have at home are different than the lighting in the mirrors that there are in the store. But like for some reason I feel like it looks really good in the store, and then I go home and I'm like, this looks okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like I can't think off the top of my head of like buying things clothes wise and then having that regret, but like I've definitely been gifted or given clothes, like whether it's from family or friends for things or whatever, and like been like, oh, this is like a neat, whatever. And then like wearing it a little while and then being like, why am I still wearing this thing? Like I gotta take this off.
Yeah.
But shopping, I don't know, doesn't do it for me. But I'm
Shopping.
glad it does.
Shopping.
I'm glad it does something for you guys.
Yeah, at the very least, the thought of it gets me excited. And this is a Jerry Seinfeld bit, and I'll close on this topic with this. He's talking about like everyone like seems to live for going out. Like, hey, when are we gonna go out? Like, what time are we going out? Who's coming? All this stuff, and it's really exciting to plan it. But like as soon as you get there, it's like, all right, when are we gonna go home? Here? Like, what time is it? Like, when can we get back? So to me, it's like, yeah, shopping at the very least. When with the right people, the activity is fun, but at the very least, even with the wrong people, the thought of it is fun, and that's all that matters.
Shopping at Square One means fudge to me. Oh my god.
Your fudge is
My
upstairs
fudge is
waiting for
here.
you. I bought fudge
Perfect.
for Patrick.
Yeah.
He e-transferred me because I was
I
at
did.
Square One with my mom. I bought milk chocolate fudge. It took
Oh my god, I just committed to fasting though. I can't.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna eat it. I'm about to eat
You
it.
transfer me my money back, bro.
No, I'm gonna eat it, and you paid for it. Goodbye, everybody.
Are you being serious?
No, you can have it if you want. Are you gonna eat it?
I'll probably just keep it until the fast.
I was gonna say, how long does fudge expire?
I don't think so.
Just
So I
throw
can
it in the
just
freezer.
What do you want me to have this in my room for? It's in my
No,
room.
I'll just take it home. What do you mean? You have it in your room. Just take it home and keep
Take
it
it
out.
home and throw it in your freezer, and then it'll be fine.
Dude, it's gonna be bad. You might as well let me enjoy it when it's prime, when it's in its prime.
Sounds like Mark's trying to get your fudge, dude.
I think Mars getting your.
Are you gonna
fudge.
pay for it?
No.
Probably not. No.
Then I'm gonna take it.
What if I paid you for it? I could just have it.
I'd like $1 on top of what I paid for.
Wow.
Honestly, I'm
Wow.
trying to watch my
Trying
weight,
to
so
be
you go
polite.
for it. I'm trying to be.
Like you'll give me $10 for it?
No, you can take it, and I don't want any money. You already paid me, so you take it for yourself.
No, I'm saying give me $10 and you take it.
I don't want it anymore. Because I'm saying I'm trying to not get fat, so I'm not.
You won't get fat. You go to the
seconds-
gym
5 seconds ago, the conversation was, "I want my fudge
No,
back."
but now I
Don't
could be.
keep my
But
fudge."
now I could be
And now
profiting
you're
$1.
trying to make $1
Honestly,
off of Mark. So
we've-
you're like, "Give me my money plus $1,
Yeah.
and you keep the fudge."
We've both flipped. Just a minute ago, he was like, "I want the fudge. It's mine." And I'm like, "No, I want to eat it." And now I'm like, "Neither of us want it."
Yeah.
Nobody wants the goddamn fudge.
I don't know where this has gone. You should probably cut this so we can keep having this conversation off the recording.
That's fine. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
that has been your episode of Wildly Adequate for today. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank
we
you.
hope you had
Thank you.
a blast. But guess what? If you didn't have a blast, we
Go
don't
screw
really care.
yourself.
Yeah,
Honestly,
go
I
screw yourself.
don't really care if anyone ever listens to this.
We don't
so.
really care if you had a blast. Did you hate this entire thing? Good. Fuck
Honestly,
you.
why are you still here if you hate it?
Why are you
this
still
entire
here,
thing?
idiot?
God, it's 2 hours.
Loser.
How long?
No, it'll
long.
probably be around like an hour and a half ish.
Can
or
I?
so.
Malcolm just farted directly into his mic and
No, I
put it
didn't.
against his asshole,
didn't.
and then he put it up to his mouth.
I did fart. It just
You're
rubbed.
so.
It just
Why are you
rubbed.
doing it again though?
I'm just showing what happened. I'm showing
Oh,
what
okay,
happened.
okay.
One day we'll get it.
He's claiming that it rubbed up against the couch, so there's no fart.
One day we'll get it.
All right. Good night, ladies
All
and
right.
gentlemen.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.